Hello and welcome to PUBG Mobile Pro League South Asia Spring Season 2023. The journey continues on for week number 2, day 1 is about to get started. I'm your caster and analyst Bora. Joining me on the desk is going to be none other than Shadow as well. And what are your expectations, Shadow, for this week 2 starting of the day itself? Do you think we're going to be looking at an exciting day, or do you think it could very well be a bit more stalemate situation between these teams?
Definitely, it won't be a stalemate situation, and it is going to be not just an exciting day, an exciting week, but because now teams do have a read onto each other, they know exactly how the opponent plays against them, so they are more prepared this time. But looking at the overall schedule, week number 1 is already over, and for MV, they are sitting on the top in the overall ranking. But now it's entire different story. That means week number 2, we are starting today, then we have week number 3, but let me remind the viewers that there is going to be a bonus match also on the 5th day of every week. That means the 6th match is going to be on weekend D.
Absolutely. But before we talk about that right now, let's also bring up the prize pool conversation because there is going to be $80,000 on the line for these teams. And alongside that, the MVP, the solo MVP player from any individual team, will be awarded $1,000 individually. So quite a lot of chunk of money that is going to be, of course, distributed amongst these teams. $80,000 in total, as we discussed. But moving away from that, here comes the bonus points. Now, these bonus points, as Shadow was mentioning, are all focused on what the teams end up doing and placing on the Vikendi map. But to be a part of the Vikendi map, you have to be in the top 12. That is what the fight is going to start once again for.
Well, certainly you have to be in top 12. And how do you come in top 12? By being so very consistent. And this season, the entire story revolves around the point structure because there is a major change. The winner chicken dinner team, that means the first place team gets only 10 points, second gets 6 points, third gets 5 points, fourth gets 4 points, and keep on reducing. And 9 to 16th, you get nothing at all. That means the entire focus should be on the elimination points. And we can already see in the gameplay of so many teams that they have adapted their gameplay to the recent point structure. They're more focusing on the elimination points, but now is the time when things are going to take a different turn because the team who are on the bottom, like Seal Esports, the last day of week number 1, they started showcasing a tremendous performance. So I'm expecting big things from the team who were on the bottom.
Absolutely. But with that, let's have a look at the groups themselves, as we do have 20 teams this time around. The groups have changed. I mean, previously we had, of course, High Voltage, Venom, Raw, TRZ being a part of Group A, but now it has all switched around as we've got 4 Medical Vibes, T2K, Venom, of course, is there along with Bad Intentions. Moving away from there, of course, the 4 groups that are going to be playing on our match number 1 today is going to be Group A, B, C, and D. So that means Group E, including IHC Esports, Leo Esports, Elementrix Esports, as well as SITM. These are the teams that we are not going to be looking at least in game number 1.
Well, certainly the groups have been shuffled. That means the teams who were competing against each other, maybe now they are going to be in a different lobby or maybe in the same lobby. That is definitely going to change in terms of the drop locations that might be coming in. But looking at the bonus ranking of the week 1, for MV, they are sitting on the top with 20 points because of the consistency that came from their side. Stalwart Esports, 19 points to them. DRS Gaming on the 3rd spot, but on the bottom we have the players of Bad Intention with only 1 bonus point. DEADEYES with only 2 points. IH Crew also on the 18th spot with only 3 points.
Absolutely. Quite a lot of change that needs to be showcased from the team sitting on the 15th all the way down to the 20th position right there. Because again, week number 2, that means now we've got only 2 weeks remaining before we jump in with, of course, the finals itself. Week 1 is over. Week 2 and 3 are the only 2 weeks remaining before we jump into the finals. That's going to be played on 14th, 15th, and 16th of April, I believe. But never mind all that. For the finals itself, you have to be in the top 16. So quite a tremendous amount of caliber that needs to be showcased from the teams. But with that, let's of course look at the head-to-head. 4 Miracle Vibes in week 1 were leading the charge with 253 points. The lead they had accumulated was massive because second position was taken on by Stalwart Esports with 205 points, clearly showcasing that 4 Miracle Vibes were doing a lot better in terms of how they were moving ahead with the games.
Well, certainly the consistency that came from the side of 4MV, but on the other side, Stalwart Esports and the later stages of the game from week number, I think day number 3, they also started picking themselves up, getting double chicken dinners, 2 back-to-back chicken dinners, and consistent performance was also showcased from the side of Stalwart Esports. So on week number 2, we can expect big things from this particular team. At the same time, DRS Gaming also on the very last day, they also started showcasing some good performances by coming on the second spot again and again. So DRS Gaming also looking very strong this time.
Absolutely, but right now, of course, as we look at Stalwart Esports' performance right here, I mean, this team, there is no denying it, was so nightmarish when it comes to the other opponents. Look at this. I mean, 4Medical Vibes, they thought they had the angles, they thought they were looking very comfortable in terms of the way they had secured the warehouse, but then comes in Stalwart Esports, checking every nook and corner and getting that completed into a perfect chicken dinner for themselves, stealing it rather away from 4MV. So Stalwart Esports again in week number 2, I'm sure, are going to be bringing that momentum ahead. And hopefully also, if they get a good start on day 1 itself, could very well actually topple over 4MV because they had started, getting closer and closer to 4MV's lead. But all in all, of course, that's all speculative because day number 1 results, we've still no idea what's going to go down.
Well, certainly it's an entire different week number 2, and yes, Talbot Esports and 4MV, our eyes are definitely is going to be on both these teams. But looking at head-to-head between Elementrix Esports and Deadeye Guys also, well, Deadeyes, they were not able to perform up to our expectations on day number 1 and day number 2. Yes, on the very last day, Elementrix and Deadeyes, they started picking themselves up, especially the players of Elementrix Esports. The Miramar game they showcased on the very last day got a chicken dinner for themselves with 10 eliminations. So yes, Elementrix also, well, in this particular week, they ought to perform really good.
Indeed, because you talk about day number 5, especially for Elementrix from week 1, they had started to climb up to the numbers, the ranks, and that in turn resulted in them having a pretty good start. And as we can clearly see right here, I mean, Gimli along with his teammates Frag, as well as Astra and Juicy Orange, were all in for the final day. But that's not all we need to see because we need that consistent play throughout the entirety of the week. And hopefully with that sort of a momentum that they showcased on the final day, maybe today they're going to be jumping into the opportunity and of course keeping that continuously present throughout the entirety of 5 days.
Certainly, we do expect at the same time Deadeyes guys, well, they are not looking so good because right now they are on the bottom. Elementrix, they do have more bonus points also as compared to Deadeyes guys. So Elementrix, well, if they have to make sure the consistency carry in week number 2 also. But on the other side, we have few teams also, they were not able to step up their performance at all, starting from Bad Intention. Well, week number 1, everything was broken about this team.
Most certainly. I mean, Bad Intentions, for one, it did not seem like it was their week. Every particular day they jump into the battleground and every single time they would just fall back around. But never mind that, we'll come back to the conversation because it's a brand new week. We also do have this wonderful promo to talk about and of course showcase to you guys. And there we have it, of course, as we saw, some wonderful looking skins that are available, of course, for you guys. Along with that, you've got weapons and vehicles as well that are all going to be, of course, showcased. But for that, you need to be able to spend some UC. You need to be able to, of course, jump in and get that, grab that as soon as possible because, of course, it is going to be available for a long time. And the sooner you have it, the better off, of course, you will be in amongst your friends, showcasing the perfect vibe that you created, right? But moving away from that vibe that is going to be awesome for you guys towards Bad Intentions and the conversation that we were having throughout the entirety of week 1, they were just sitting on the bottom and they were not looking good. Even if they tried to take fights, it did not factor in and did not, favor anything in the lobby. So for that, Bad Intentions need to really showcase a different side of their gameplay. Hopefully today, this week too, can bring in a little bit of difference from their side, but of course it is up in the air sort of a conversation because we still don't know what's going to go down for it.
Well, certainly we don't know what's going to happen on week number 2. But looking at the schedule, well, we are starting things off with Erangel, then we have Miramar, then Sanhok, then Miramar, then Erangel. That means double Miramar and double Erangel. And in the very first Erangel, Group E is the group that is going to be sitting out.
True, absolutely. That means we're not going to be looking at IHC Esports, Leo
Yeah.
Esports, Elementrix, and SITM Esports. Now, these are the 4 teams that are not going to be playing match number 1, but we do have 4 groups that are going to be participating. So, with that, I believe it is going to be time for the age-old question for the predictions to be brought on screen. And of course, Shadow, why don't you take it first? And what team would you like to see have this chicken dinner?
Oh, I want Stalwart Esports to kick things off on a very aggressive note and make a statement that yes, week number 2 belongs to Stalwart Esports. So my prediction is Stalwart Esports. But what about you, Blotter?
Well, I would love to see Seal Esports make a mark today, and that is something that I will keep my fingers crossed for. But this match number 1, my prediction is going to be Seal Esports for the win. We'll see if that'll be the case or not. But right off the bat, we do have this flight path on our screens where it is starting off from Ferripier towards the western side of the map, going all the way up towards shooting range. Now, would love to actually see a shooting range zone as well. It's been a very long time since I've seen a shooting range zone. That let's see where the circle is going to be drawn right here, because considering the fact that the flight path is towards the western side, the zone very well could be a little further away from the flight path, but never mind all that, because for now we know the usual suspects that love to go towards the military base. We've got SCE, along with them we've also got 4MV, who are the only 2 teams who are going to be, of course, setting themselves up on the military base right off the bat.
Well, certainly for MV, the most consistent team of week number 1. But talking about their entire run, I think there was not even a single day when we can say that for MV they were not consistent or they were not able to perform every single day. They came to rule and they definitely rule. But talking about Stalwart Esports, well, they are also heading towards their favorite drop location, that is going to be Novorupnoy. One main reason for the consistency that comes from their side is the resources. They drop in towards the southern island and they're mostly isolated. They always have good resources and loot in their hands, but we have a fight already happening between the players of Maptex Esports and I8, and looks like it's a 2v2 situation. And KSA do a 1v2. Yes, he definitely faced a casualty. They had to lose Valley in the situation, but 2 defeat points onto the players of I8. Now Sky running out in the open. KSA, this is a moment when Sky can capitalize DBS in the hands, but he's literally going to burn if he walks in because of the Molotov, and that is going to buy some time for Kesa to heal himself up. But does he have the healing? That's the main question.
Oh, what a shot that was coming in right there, where Woofers was able to just bring down the player Kese from Maptex. But in turn, of course, for Illuminate Crew, they've lost out on 2 of their players. Novax as well as Viper are lost to the cause. This is not the kind of start that they would have anticipated, but sadly, that is what they've got going for them for now in this game. But apart from that, of course, as we continue with the journey of this game, we're looking at 60 players. That means from Maptex also 2 players lost, from Illuminate True also 2 players lost. So equal trades between these 2 teams fight. But now they're going to be left with just a 2-man squad for the rest of the game.
Well, certainly not a start that they were hoping for, but on the other side of the map, we have the players of Seal Esports and DE Venom. But talking about Seal Esports, day number 5, on the very first game of Miramar, they managed to get 1 chicken dinner with 20 eliminations. So we do know that this is a team with high caliber. They do have the skills required. And time and again, we have seen these teams multiple times go up against each other in the North Georgia pool. Well, let's see if that's going to happen again or not, because they both are familiar. They both know that they are in North Georgia pool. There is a chance of a fight erupting, but right now they need those resources. They need those level 2 helmets and those first aids and the mid kits that come very handy in the later stage of the game.
Absolutely, and that is where we see Venom Legends, Venom DE, and of course, along with that, Seal Esports, for now, maintaining distance between them as they get the loots set up for themselves. Of course, when it comes to the zone as well, the zone is very close to both of these teams, so they don't really have much to worry about just yet. But moving away from those 2 on the northern side of Georgia, we move on down south towards Pochinki, where we've got ASL, Abrupt Slayers, a team that has definitely showcased signs of improvement in week 1 gameplay itself. As the week started off, day 1 started off for week 1, ASL were missing from the entire action. But then as we continued on forth, ASL were able to get a decent amount of points accumulated for themselves. But now, week 2, it's all been reset. The groups have been reshuffled as well. So they're gonna have to make a mark all together once again all over. And that's not only for ASL, that's true for every single team that is going to be participating right here. But apart from ASL, we do have STE, Stalwart, on our screens. As they are also, again, no team wants to, get those drop contestations going on in this PMPL South Asia, that's for sure. Especially on the map of Erangel, we've noticed each and every single team has their own individual drop locations that are all set up perfectly for themselves. So we don't see any rivalries or any early fights. But in just a few minutes, we are going to be moving away from stage 1. For now, for Stalwart, again, I mean, we know that they go down to south towards Novorupnoy. Right now, they're almost about 13 to 1400 meters away from the zone itself. So they are going to have to get into the vehicles real soon if they plan to be in the zone. Or they could go on with the play that they've been able to make earlier as well, which is stick to the edges and then slowly close in with the zone.
I don't think Stalwart Esports are going to face any kind of resistance from any team around the bridge area while they transition themselves in the very first circle. But on the other side, we have the players of 4MV. 4MV tried to go from the side of military base bridge area. And so far in week number 1, they have never faced any kind of an issue or resistance from some of the team going for the bridge camp area. So I think both these teams are going to be pretty good in terms of the rotation that might come in from their side. On the other side, like you were talking about the players of Abrupt Slayers, well, Erangel is still their Achilles heel. This is not their strongest map. It's Miramar where the players of Abrupt Slayers always shine the most. But talking about DRS, well, this is a team that tends to perform really good in the fast-paced map of Sanhok. But on the other map, DRS Gaming, well, they are yet to showcase that shiny performance that we are waiting from such a big organization, such veteran players. Because yes, on day number 5, DRS Gaming, on the last 2 maps, I think weekend bonus match also they came second. On the last Erangel also they came second. So
True.
that winner chicken dinner that they wanted on the very last day of week number 1, well, maybe on this very day they can get it.
Indeed, I mean, this is week 2. This is all a brand new start for the teams as well. And now that they're well versed with the lobby and the opponents and the play style, I'm sure there is equal chance for DRS as well as other teams to get a good start on this day 1 of week 2. But we'll see if that will be allowed for DRS or not. For now, on our screens, we've got SKYLIGHTZ Esports' Sancher very close to a couple of teams right around the corner. Of course, now we'll have to see if he's going to be able to get any shots onto the players of Bad Intentions. It seems like Bad Intentions once again are going to be in the crosshairs right now, as we've got Sanchir with his Mini 14 very eagerly, patiently waiting. And there we go, just like that. We do have Alpha going down from Bad Intentions and a couple of wonderful sprayed knocks. And just like that, it seemed that could have been the end of Bad Intentions Alpha. But thankfully, he was not eliminated just yet. He has his teammates right around the corner to be able to give him that cover. And of course, for SKYLIGHTZ Esports, they are too far away from that compound to be able to make any unnecessary push to get those elimination points racked up in their favor. But of course, one thing is set. Sanchir knows where the team is at. And his teammates on the right are on top of the hill. And there we go. They've made an entry. What a perfect way to be able to, of course, capitalize on the situation where Bad Intentions, again, for week 2, once again, the consistency from their side is being showcased, but in the negative end, because they are not being able to get any point for themselves right now, as 2 of their players have already dropped down. But let's see how exactly is Bad Intentions going to be taking this fight against the players of SKYLIGHTZ Esports.
Well, certainly, but they are putting up a good fight against the players of SKYLIGHTZ Esports. They are looking for confirmation points as well, and 3 confirmations already converted. So Bad Intention, they are looking to redeem themselves from the bottom, and now they are already climbing up the ladder by accumulating few good points for themselves, especially onto the players of SEAL. Well, SEAL Sancher is the last man standing from their side. For how long can he survive? Definitely he wants to make a quick escape and scuttle back to the safety as soon as possible, because at this point, if SEAL Esports gets an elimination, no placement point, and definitely no elimination point. But kudos to Bad Intention, the way they put up this particular fight without facing any casualty. They have managed to annihilate the entire team of Seal Esports. So Bad Intentions already making a good statement that this particular week they are not going to be a team on the bottom of the leaderboard, but somewhere else. We have Yeta Uta, the man from the side of Raw officials. He showcased such a good performance on day number one, on week number one, I'm sorry. But now he's in a tricky spot. He's being surrounded by the players of Abrupt Slayers, so he needs to be a bit careful because a 1v4 at this point, out there in the open with no cover at all, well, this is not looking good at all.
Oh, it definitely is not. And again, to start the day off, my prediction, the team that I predicted and wanted to see do really well, Seal Esports, have been dropped down to just a one-man army, as we discussed, and of course was shown where Sanchir, the final player remaining. Ouch moment right there for Seal Esports. But Bad Intentions, what a perfect recovery that was. They did not lose out on single player, were able to get all of those players who pushed onto their compound eliminated, and at the same point in time keep all of their 4 players alive. So wonderful start for Bad Intentions in this day number 1 of week 2. Alongside that, when it comes to ASL, what exactly is ASL planning to do right here? Sleepy, he's got a lot of information, but how does he tend to utilize it and get those points in his favor? With that, the zone is going to be moving away as well. Stage 1 is done. Stage 2 is what's going to be coming up next. And will this zone make a shift, or is it going to be constructing onto itself? Probably the latter, but for now, we see DRS make a late rotation into the zone from the farm region, from the eastern side of the zone, and to greet them is going to be STE and NB Esports if they make a beeline entry from the east.
Well, certainly, there is a certain amount of teams present on the southern eastern front. At the same time, on the northern side, we have the players of Bad Intention trying to gatekeep, or maybe could try to gatekeep the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming if they head in their direction. So, Bad Intention and SKYLIGHTZ, they might also go up against each other. On the other side, High Voltage, again, this time they have managed to go for a very good rotation. They have the entire control of this northern front of the circle. But the question is where the next circle is going to go. And it takes a concentric shift. That means Deadeye guys, this time they are right in the epicenter of the circle and they're in a very good spot. This could be the game. At the same time, Raw officials also are in the nearby vicinity. So all the teams in the center area, if they have a good cover for themselves, if they have a good compound to their name, I think this game could be there. But SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, look at them again going for a very late rotation, still taking the damage of the blue, but that is working in their favor because now they don't have to engage in a fight with the players of Bad Intention. But unfortunately, Bad Intention and SKYLIGHTZ Mafia Ninja, both are going for a parallel rotation.
Absolutely, and that is something that could very well come back to bite them. But for now, it is going to be DRS against the players of NB Esports. Now, NB Esports also in week 1, day 1, were flawless in terms of the way they were able to execute their strategies. But then as the week continued on forth from day 1 onwards, NB Esports just faltered down. Let's see though for week 2, how exactly are they planning on starting, as they've got DRS around the corner to deal with. And apart from that, we've got Raw officials taking on shots against the players of Illuminate 2, who are only a 2-man squad. And it seems like NB Esports, their trouble and misery just continues on forth, as from far away it was 4 American wives who were able to bring down one of the players, and now it's going to be Maptex's Baron all by his lonesome with a sliver of an HP, trying to, of course, eliminate the possibility of NB Esports to get any points. But thankfully enough, this time around, they are going to be able to get the 2 players revived in this small little shack. NB Esports have been able to accumulate 2 defeat points for themselves. A good start for them, a good show of camaraderie right there. But there's so much more to that NB Esports are going to have to do if they wish to stay in the top 12, if they wish to stay, or rather have a good start to day number 1 right here in week 2.
Well, certainly, but now we have Sanchir, the solo player remaining from the side of Seal, going up against the players of T2K. Yes, he do have a soft cover in the form of the smokes, but the grenade are not going to be connected as T2K. Well, they are busy in their rotation. Now we have 2 teams in the same compound. That is going to be High Voltage against the players of Abrupt Slayers, and Chari from the rooftop angle is trying to take down some players from High Voltage with those grenades, but he doesn't know exactly where the players are, so the perfect projectile is still missing. In this situation, Abrupt Slayers, they're outnumbered. It's a 2v3 situation. The question is, where is the reinforcement? Where are the remaining players of Abrupt Slayers? Because when you are picking a fight with a team like High Voltage, you need all the 4 players with you, especially when you are going so aggressive and you are looking forward to push in their very compound. But right now, Malik, well, looks like he's in a mood to change his position and back off from this fight.
It is possible. It is possible that a high voltage decide to walk away from the fight. But for now, they're maintaining a perfect smoke cover. That in turn, of course, eliminates the possibility of any players of ASL getting any information. But far away, Jiggle was able to scope out the player of ASL, and just like that, Chari has been dropped down. He's not been eliminated yet. He's got his teammates right around the corner, and of course, from that opening, now high voltage's players just push on through the smoke to get the players of ASL eliminated from this possibility. And with that, the entire advantage of this fight has been stolen away from high voltage. On the other side of the fight itself, we've got SKYLIGHTZ Gaming also taking shots against the players of DRS, but for now, high voltage have lost on Prabeen. So equal trades in this fight once again, and that nade, what a perfect nade that was, as Assassin goes down as well. Sleepy from backlines of ASL's compound has been able to eliminate the possibility of that push being converted into points for high voltage, as Sleepy all by his lonesome has dropped high voltage in their tracks. And now this perfect spray could very well be the result of... Never mind though, I thought that he'd be able to get at least one defeat point, but sadly not going to be the case, as ASL, Abrupt Slayers, get eliminated right here. With that, SKYLIGHTZ Esports final player also gets eliminated. 13 teams in total remain, but all that commotion that high voltage were a part of has now drawn in the players of T2K as well.
And T2K, well, they have already managed to take down Jiggle, who was out there in the open, and now High Voltage, they don't have the numbers, but we have the players of TRT going up against the players of Stalwart Esports. Trades are coming back and forth, and looks like the last man from the side of Stalwart Esports is going to eliminate TRZ and going to save the day for his team, but looks like they've already lost their star player. That is going to be IC, 4 defeat points, 3 men standing. Stalwart Esports still looking very strong. They have to make sure that they're able to defend this particular compound, but somewhere else on the map, we have the players of DRS also going up against the players of Raw Officials, and look like the day is not looking good for the players of Raw Officials, because they are down to only 1 man. And T2K, well, they have managed to take the control of the compound of High Voltage by eliminating them, and High Voltage also bids bye-bye at 12th spot. Not a good game coming from the side of High Voltage, also only 1 point to their name. But Stalwart Esports, well, they are looking good, 4 defeat points. They do have a good compound. But look at the players of DE, DEADEYES. They do have a good compound to their name. But the question is where the next circle is going to go. If it heads towards the northern side, well, DE are going to be very happy. But if the circle go towards southern side, then DE will have to make certain rotations. And in the center of the circle, we have the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. Even they don't have the numbers advantage.
Indeed, they definitely don't. I mean, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, the position that they're in is really good. They're in the center of the zone, but they're only a 2-man squad, which of course is going to be troublesome if they want to be able to get this game for themselves. T2K also having a really good game right here with 7 elimination points confirmed for themselves, but now finally they lose out on one of their players. So Yog, as Kreta from the side of Venom DE, has been able to bring down a perfect spray, and that nade also on top of Rick could very well be very detrimental for the positioning of T2K. He is not looking good right now, caught out in the open as they try to make a rotation. Venom DE have capitalized on this mistake from T2K, which in turn has resulted in T2K already losing out on 2 of their players pretty much, as Rig, along with of course his teammate, are the only 2 players surviving from T2K. Sandesh goes down as well. It is a tough luck affair for T2K right now in this fight with Venom DE. They are just absolutely annihilating the possibility of T2K to be able to survive this any much longer.
But Farhad, he was so confident in the situation while he was trying to pick off Rig from the side of T2K that he was taken out by some other team. And in this very circle, in the stage 5 circle, if you're out there in the open, someone is going to definitely punish you. Now, Domi has a job to do. He has to go for the rescue mission onto the fallen comrade, at the same time pick off Rig as well. And looks like DE Slayer is a guy that is going to eliminate the last man of T2K, and T2K bids bye-bye at 11th position with good elimination points in their favor. Now, DE, they are looking so very strong in this particular one, and the smoke, well, that is grabbing the attention of DE Plus towards Domi, but Domi has to make a quick rotation, save his teammate. At the same time, 15 seconds on the clock, he has to transition inside the circle also. This is not going to be so easy for the players of Venom DE, but still they are trying. They do have good resources in their hands also to use in this particular situation, but SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, well, they are looking so very comfortable because they have the control of the circle.
Indeed, with just 2 players remaining for the side of Venom DE, it has converted into a tough day for them right now. With that, we still have 10 teams in total remaining, and these 10 teams have got Bad Intentions leading the charge with 3 elimination points confirmed for themselves. Following along very closely to them is going to be DE as well, and NB Esports with 2 elimination points sitting in the center of the zone, looking very comfortable. NB Esports for this day is, but who are not looking good. Well, quite a lot of them are not looking good. Stalwart Esports are with a 3-man squad. They've been able to scope out the players of NB Esports. Mondo goes down as Ners brings a perfect spray, and not only that, but Ners also has an information on the 2 players remaining from the side of Venom DE as well. He blows up the cover and that vehicle. Venom DE are out of options as well. They're going to have to stick it out over there and try and survive for as long as they can. But right behind STE, they've got 4MV to worry about, because from on top of that mountain, we've got 4MV slowly but surely trying to enter the zone as well.
Well, certainly, Stalwart Esports, they are trying to mitigate the threat that is possible, that is in the nearby vicinity. But with a DBS shot, Mafia Ninja takes down 1 player from the side of DE. With a grenade, takes down 2 players of DE, and looks like the numbers of DE Deadeye guys are dwindling down, and they have been reduced to only 2-man squad. And Mafia Ninja, along with No Fear, is looking so very strong. At the same time, Bad Intentions are also finding good knocks onto the players of 4MV and NB Esports with those perfect grenades that are coming from their side. But right now they have to be very careful. On the other side of the map, we have Action coming into the action as he takes down East from the side of 4MV.
Well, 4MV, what a perfect start they anticipated for themselves, but seems like it is going to be none other than Bad Intentions who are going to be putting them in their position right here for the first game. Their Bad Intentions have been able to scope out the players of 4MV. One of them, East, has already been lost to the cause. From the backlines, of course, now Doc pushes on ahead to take on the merry band of Bad Intentions all by his lonesome. The nade parade that he's showcasing has resulted in, of course, him getting 1 point, well, not 1 point at least for now, but Bad Intentions did have one of their players knocked down. They will be getting that revival, and same will be the case that Doc is going to perform the surgery on Apex to be able to bring him back and revive him back. That means 4MV, a 3-man squad against the 4-man army still for Bad Intentions. So very incredible synergy being showcased from Bad Intentions right here, but will it be enough or not? That is the main question, because 4MV, they have trouble of their own because they need to get into the zone. Now the question is, can they move away from this fight? It seems highly unlikely that Bad Intentions is going to allow that, and this is the moment where, of course, SKYLIGHTZ should have gotten up and could have absolutely sprayed the moving target of 4MV as Apex gets so very close to SKYLIGHTZ. UMP in his hand. What exactly is Bad Intentions SKYLIGHTZ going to be able to do? Refuse in the backlines from the side of 4MV. Is keeping a very keen eye towards helping out his teammate. But Apex, he's none the wiser right now. Doc has repositioned himself, trying to get into a flank area, which in turn has still not resulted in them getting any point against the players of Bad Intentions. 4MV still in a bit of a strenuous position is what they're at.
But kudos to the efforts of Bad Intention, the way they are picking
Indeed.
fight with the players of 4MV, the strongest team in the lobby. And Bad Intention, they were not looking good at all on week number 1. But the way they are showcasing their performance on this very map, it is looking so very contrasting to the previous week's performance. But from somewhere else, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, No Fear is also trying to pick up the players of DE Venom. And looks like Farad, the last man standing, has also been eliminated with a few good elimination points. Now SKYLIGHTZ, well, they are definitely ranking up the numbers in terms of elimination. But 4MV is going to retaliate as they take down Alpha and SKYLIGHTZ from the side of Bad Intention, leaving Sim the last man standing. What he can do in this situation? Yes, he does have a little bit of the soft cover in terms of the smokes, but is that enough to stop the aggression that is coming from the side of Doc of 4MV? And looks like the answer is going to be no, because he's surviving on a sliver of HP, but not for very long. And with that, Bad Intention, they have been eliminated at 9th rank with 3 elims. But kudos to their efforts, the way Bad Intention have performed in this particular one. If they keep improving their gameplay, I think Bad Intentions are going to look so very good on this particular week.
Oh, most certainly. Very well said right there, because Bad Intentions, they most certainly have had a very good start to this week. And with that, it seems like 4MV are not having the kind of momentum that they had in week number 1, because right now they had so much trouble against Bad Intentions. They were able to eliminate that, but in doing so have now resulted in, of course, having to face the face the ensemble from the players of Stalwart Esports, as well as Stalwart Esports have brought down the players of 4MV down to just a two-man army. Refuse and Apex are the only two players surviving for the side of 4MV, and of course Stalwart Esports know exactly where those two players are at. DE also get eliminated and bit ado to this lobby on the 7th position. 16 remaining for 4MV. This is going to be the toughest fight because they need to take over the 3 players of Stalwart and then move into the zone as well, and that seems highly unlikely right here with the way Action is performing, just pushing on and not allowing even a single sliver of an opportunity for the players of 4MV. And just like that, 4MV get eliminated as well with only 2 eliminations. A team that we saw in week 1 being the high fragging one has been eliminated right here with the 6th position and only 2 eliminations. And Stalwart Esports, seems like this mountain is a world of trouble for any team that's going to be on top of it, because NB Esports from far away have been able to scope out the players of STE as well, as Nirs and Tops are the 2 players surviving. They need to get that revival on Action, but will NB Esports allow that? That is what the main question is. The smoke wall has been deployed from the side of Stalwart Esports. That could be able to help them out, and they might just be able to actually get that revival and move into the zone. But talking about the zone itself, it's all out in the open right here. So moving into the zone also is not going to be an easy task for Stalwart Esports. But 12 eliminations is what STE is sitting at. Definitely a very good start to the game for them.
But look at the position of the players of NB Esports also blotted. They don't have the circle and they've already poked the players of Stalwart Esports. Now Stalwart Esports is definitely keeping a close eye onto the players of NB Esports, and the moment they come out in the open, maybe Stalwart will be ready. But looks like TRZ is keeping a close eye onto the players of DRS. They have been so silent in this particular game. Yes, they are looking for good placement points. 3 eliminations already in their favor and still being so very silent. But right now, Tops has to be very careful, as that buggy NB Esports players are hunting for the players of Stalwart Esports, trying to bait out the players, lure them out of their covers. So let's find out what's going to happen. And Mondo almost making a vehicle run over and went too aggressive, got punished, had been eliminated, and now the numbers of NB Esports have been reduced down to 3 men. It's a 3v3 situation. Stalwart Esports are looking so very strong in this particular game.
Absolutely, and NB Esports, having made so much of commotion right now, have also drawn in the fire of DRS as well, as NB Esports lose out on another player thanks to, of course, Nirz's nade coming in from Stalwart's side. And that mountain, it seems like, is definitely helping out the positioning of Stalwart Esports, as they were taking on shots against the players of DRS as well. But right now, the main agenda right now is going to be for them to, of course, eliminate NB Esports and then move into the zone. And talking about the zone itself, well, STE, they are almost at the edge with just a sliver of HP left on Action. He is going to be able to, of course, topple down the possibility of NB Esports walking away with the chicken dinner. The NB Esports was the only team that had the numbers going in their favor just a couple of minutes ago in this lobby, but now have been brought down to just a sliver, as they are left with just a 1-man army that's going to be sick.
Even the numbers of Stalwart Esports are also going down, as Action has been eliminated. Now it's only Tops and TRZ 2-man army from the side of Stalwart Esports. Yes, they have managed to eliminate the threat of NB Esports. They still have to deal with the players of DRS, and looks like they do have information where exactly the players of DRS are. And DRS, well, they don't have a good hard cover for themselves. They do have some burst out vehicles, but for how long? On the other side, we have the last player remaining from the side of Raw officials. That is going to be Khan. And for how long can he survive? Stalwart Esports, well, they are looking super aggressive. 16 elimination points already in their favor. Looks like this is their game to lose.
Well, again, they've got all the information that they need right now, because they know where the players are from their opponent team. And that in turn, of course, is what Nirz was doing earlier as well. We had noticed him trying to dish out damage and scope out the players of DRS, and right now he knows exactly where he's at, where all the opponents are at. And now it's only a matter of time before DRS are going to be, of course, sprayed on from all the directions. We seemingly are going to be jumping into this game where the STE may be walking away with the chicken dinner, because DRS, the blues, are catching up to them as well. They don't have a lot of space to work with right here. Their vehicles has already been blown. They've got no cover, and with that, Rule's going to be jumping outside the zone, and this is the possibility that STE could have utilized for themselves, but it seems like they've got trouble brewing, because there is going to be DRS's other players who have made an entry onto the mountain, and they have been able to eliminate the players of Stalwart Esports. Incredible feat right there from DRS's players. DRS gang absolutely through and through, annihilating the competition, wherein it seemed like Stalwart were the ones moving in with a charge. They had the information as well, but it's all going down the drain now because it is DRS for the win, as we've got final player, one-man army. Kansa from Raw is the player surviving, and with that smoke that's been deployed, of course, his information has been relayed, and DRS will be the champions right now for game number 1 with a chicken dinner in the bag. This team is looking ferocious, and again, they had a very safe game this time around. They did not go for a high fragging game like Stalwart Esports, but eventually in the end, they did get a chicken dinner, and that's what matters.
Well, certainly a beautiful chicken dinner from the side of DRS Gaming, 6 elimination point and 1543 damage, and now in the overall ranking, they are sitting on the 3rd position.
Alright, and we are back, of course, right now for talking about the way game number 1 went. It was completely ludicrous play that we did not anticipate from so many of these teams. 4MV walking away and getting exited with only 2 eliminations. I mean, DRS did get a chicken dinner, but again, with just 5 eliminations confirmed for them. So, bad intentions on the other front. A team that was not looking too good in week 1. This time around started off popping heads, looking very comfortable in terms of the aggressiveness that was showcased from them. Week 2, we knew things are going to change, but did not really understand how big of a drastic change it is going to be. And now I think if at all game 1 is to tell us anything, the storyboard is going to be shifting across from 4MV and Stalwart Esports to a completely different side, is where we can expect this overall ranking board to be at by the end of the day.
Well, certainly with this kind of performance, if DRS continues, yes, they missed that winner chicken dinner twice on the very last day of week number 1, but now they're already getting it. The consistency that we talk about, DRS Gaming showcases it perfectly, because every single time they deliver a good performance. Not too very shiny, not the most aggressive performance. Controlled aggression always comes from the side of DRS Gaming. Whenever it is required, DRS showcase the aggression. Otherwise, they sit silently and wait for the teams to fight amongst each other, and they strike at the very last moment to get that 10 placement points at the same time, good elimination points as well. So DRS, whatever they're doing, it's working for them. But looking at the MVP, it is going to be NRZ from the side of Stalwart Esports. So where this guy was able to capitalize on the information onto the plus of DRS, onto the plus of NB Esports, he did so much for his team in terms of the eliminations. Also 6 eliminations, 901 damage, 2 assists, 6 knocks, and 430 healing stun. We see the high number of healing stun because Stalwart Esports, well, they were engaged in so many fights. They were the most aggressive team in this particular one.
Absolutely, and they most certainly were, like you said, the aggressive bunch of the entire lot, actually, because they've got so many points for themselves in terms of the elimination. In fact, I believe that even though DRS got the chicken dinner, when we move on with the overall ranking, it is probably going to be Stalwart who'll have a lot better score. But again, that is something that we'll talk about once we do walk over towards the overall ranking and the match ranking. For now, we know that Stalwart as well as DRS had a really good game. NB Esports were not that far behind as well. So a good start from a lot of these teams for week 2's day number 1. But right now, another thing to actually bring up and talk about is going to be what to anticipate as the day progresses on. We've got Miramar, we've got 4 more games remaining. We've got Miramars as well as, of course, Sanhok. That is going to be changing the play style of the players as well as the groups that we are going to be introduced to. The upcoming game will be Group E that will participate. So that means IHC is going to be back. SITM is also going to be back. So definitely a lot on the line for week 2 and these teams.
Well, certainly it's going to be an entire different story of week number 2. Already we can see in the very first game, the teams who were on the bottom, they have started showcasing good performance from their side, especially like you mentioned, the plus of bad intention. Yes, Steel did go down very early in the game, but still they did put up a very good fight against the plus of bad intention. Again, the top dogs of week number 1, 4MV, the way bad intention were able to pressurize the plus of 4MV, pin down the plus of 4MV. Yes, 4MV reigned supreme in that fight, but still that was a very good fight, and 4MV were the aggression they showcased on week 1 in week 1, that was entirely missing.
It most certainly was. That is just not the same team in week 2, that's for sure. But maybe that's also possible of the fact that this was just game number 1. They were just getting warmed up and trying to understand what exactly are the opponents going to be doing or what the other players are going to be doing. But I mean, whatever we say, 4MV was definitely not looking like themselves as they were in week 1. But it's all again, it's all absolutely okay for now because it's just the start. As the games progress on, as the day progresses on, I'm sure that wonderful play that was showcased from 4MV in week 1 is going to resurface once again.
Well, certainly, I have no second thought. I have no doubt onto that. But some other players also were able to showcase good performance on week number 1. One was Matt Cat from the side of TRZ. This time also, I'm looking forward to same performance from their side as well. But like you mentioned, some other group is going to be joining. What are you expecting from group number E, where we have teams of SITM Esports, Elementrix, Leo Esports, and IHC Esports?
Indeed, I mean, IHC Esports, that's the name. That is the name that I'm going to be picking for this game number 2, because I would love to be able to see IHC pop off some heads, IHC bring in a very good play for themselves, and of course convert it into a chicken dinner winner sort of an opportunity for themselves. Again, a lot to be anticipated from IHC, because week number 1, yes, okay, they were, but not in the best of the best plays that we've seen from them earlier. I mean, Godless, his performance has been, a bit shaky actually in week number 1, and through for IHC overall, they were in the top 3, and then as soon as 4MV and Stalwart Esports started making a marker, IHC were just pushed down the ranks all the way down towards 7th and 6th position. So sure that week 2 they are looking forward to doing a lot better than they did in week 1, but all in the air, because again, that's all speculative as of now, and we are yet to find out what sort of a play are they going to be able to make on Miramar with game number 2.
Well, certainly, Miramar, the terrain of the map itself, it's not so easy to play around with. The numbers come handy, especially in the map of Miramar, because you have to check all the 4 different angles, because you don't have hard cover. It's an open field. You have to take cover of the ridges, of the terrain that this map offers. So you need those numbers. And when it comes to team who performed really good in the map of Miramar, Leo Esports is definitely one of those names, because they had the second highest points in the Miramar after 4MV. So Leo Esports, well, group number E is looking so very strong. Even IHC also, in the very first day, they got a chicken dinner for themselves, but that was in Erangel. Still, IHC delivered good performance. They showcase good performance on Miramar. So group E is definitely looking very strong when it comes to Miramar.
Absolutely, and that is what we are also waiting for as well, as to when exactly are we going to be looking at, of course, the second game. Along with that, it seems like it is time to talk about the match ranking itself. And talking about the match ranking, we've got Stalwart Esports, thanks to the number of eliminations that they were able to get. 21 total points is what they set out from this game. And DRS, even though they got the chicken dinner, they've got only 16 points. The amount of eliminations that Stalwart Esports got is the total number of points that DRS Gaming were able to accumulate. But along with that, I mean, NP Esports, Raw Officials, they've had a really good start to week 2, sitting on that 4th and 5th position.
Well, certainly, DRS, they managed to steal that chicken dinner from the hands of Stalwart Esports. Otherwise, it looked like this is their game to lose. But Abrupt Slayers, what just happened to this particular team? Yes, they were engaging in a fight with the players of T2K. 0 points. This I didn't expect from the side of Abrupt Slayers at all. Seal Esports, again, not a good start. 0 points to their name, sitting on the bottom of this particular game's ranking. But one other team also that showcased a good performance this time, Blotter, is going to be T2K. The way these guys were picking fights, they eliminated the plus of High Voltage. They picked the plus of Deadeyes also. In the end, it was just the fact that they were out there in the open, no cover, and they were caught off guard in the rotation. That is where there was an early demise of the players. Otherwise, T2K, where they were also looking so very strong.
Well, that is true. But with that, it is time for us to move on ahead with the age-old question of prediction and the chicken dinner winning team. From my side, it's going to be IHC, as I was pointing out earlier as well. I would love to see them get a chicken, also do really good comparative to what they were in week number 1. But from your side, where do you want, what team rather do you want, Bhavna, to have this chicken dinner?
I almost got the correct prediction, the second correct prediction, but never mind. For this particular game, I also want to go with Group E, Leo Esports. But I do have a feeling even Elementrix can also get this one. But still, I'll go with Leo Esports.
Alright, Leo Esports coming in from your side, and IHC from mine is where we're going to be setting it up at. But at the same point, as you mentioned, I mean, Elementrix, they in game number 1 were also part of those fights, right? We saw them bring in a little bit of elimination points in their favor, but nothing to what they were looking like on day number 5. Hopefully, as the day progresses on, I mean, I'm sure they've already warmed up. So now it's time for them to, of course, deliver some massive punches and blows in the lobby. With that, the flight path going to be on our screens as it takes flight from the south, as we've got the prison island right here, right below us, and it is majorly focused towards the western side of this map, towards El Pozo, and then La Cabrera is where this flight path is taking these teams.
Well, certainly, but the flight path that we were talking about is going from the southern side of Chumacera towards the side of La Cobreria. That means the teams that who wants to drop towards the eastern side of the map, especially towards Campo Militar, well, they have a long journey up ahead. They might want to search for those crucial vehicles as soon as possible. But talking about the stars also of Miramar, yes, Abrupt Slayers also tend to perform really good in this particular one. Every single time in the previous week, we saw a drop negation clash happening in Los Leones between the players of I8 and NB Esports. Well, let's hope this time there is no drop collisions happening, because the initial fight, when you lose out on your players, lose out on the numbers that are required, the moment and the confidence also goes down, and that is where things started falling apart for certain teams. So I'm never in favor of those drop collisions. But looks like in Valle del Mar we have two teams. One is for sure TRZ. Yet to see which one is the other team in the pink.
Indeed, I'm also wanting to see where exactly is that going to be. But with that, the zone going to be making itself visible right here towards Impala and Porto Porosio, along with, of course, a little bit of Los Leones and the entire junkyard and Minas Generalis, other areas that are going to be part of the zone for now. And again, with that, another thing to point out is going to be almost 30% of the zone is in the water. So, not a lot of land and ground for these teams to be able to get set up. But talking about first blood situations itself, as of now, there does not seem to be any. In Los Leones, also, we've got two teams, SITM and Illuminator. Alongside that, Venom DE are also in close proximity towards another team. And there we have it. Bad Intentions and TRZ are the two teams that we were looking at being in close contention against each other. Bad Intentions, I'm sure they want to start this game with a bang. They want to be able to rack up those points. But I don't know why every single time it is Bad Intentions who are pretty much always part of the first blood situation. Either they're the ones getting it or they're the ones providing the opportunity to the opponent teams.
Well, certainly TRZ, bad intention. This is something like you mentioned, I don't like about bad intention, drop collisions, especially when it comes from the bottom teams who are on the bottom of the leaderboard and never appreciated, but somewhere else. Mad Cat is picking off the players of Venom DE, and looks like the numbers of Venom DE are not looking good, but no, they're going to retaliate and take down the player of TRZ, get an instant confirmation. So that means they have managed to buy some time to go for the revival onto the fallen teammates. So Venom DE, well, one elimination point, the first blood already drawn. Now, bad intention, what they are going to do in the situation, because initial fight, I'm very sure they're not looking for, because they don't have those level 2s, they don't have those healings required. Look at Alpha, he has just got level 1 fist. Yes, he does have the weaponry required, but no bandages, no medkit, nothing in terms of healings.
Oh, it's a very bad loot. I mean, just one nade, one smoke, level 1 West along with level 2 helmet is pretty much nothing in a lobby like this. And that is the reason why I'm sure they would want to get away from this area, because they've got about 2,500 meters to cover. And same is the case for TRZ as well. As TRZ were around in the same vicinity, they've decided to make a run for it, make a rotation into the zone, which again is 2,500 meters plus. Though on the other side of the map towards Picardo, we've got Leo Esports looking very, very comfortable right now, as they've got no team to worry about in their vicinity. Absolutely pristine position is what Leo Esports will find themselves at right now in this game. But as this Miramar's journey continues, by the end, will this team provide a prediction point to Bhavna? Do they have what it takes?
I hope they give me because Leo Esports, come on, talking about statistics, also statistically, Leo Esports after 4 MV, they are the most strongest team in the map of Miramar. But for some reason, the last few days of week 1 were not working in their favor. Especially the last day, Leo Esports were facing early elimination. So I really hope that they have managed to figure out what is happening wrong and they are again back into the action. But talking about this team impressed me the most in the very first Erangel. The way they were picking fight. This is the T2K that I have seen in the past, especially Jane. he was a main assaulter from their side, and this time again T2K, they were looking so very confident in terms of the fights that they were picking. The synergy was there, the communication was point perfect. So let's hope T2K also performed really good on Miramar, because, well, come on, again, statistically, Erangel is the strong point. Miramar is
True.
not the strongest point for T2K, but I really want them to perform on Miramar as well.
Indeed, one would love to see that happen. Of course, versatility is the main name of the game right now. No matter what map, you should be absolutely pristine and perfect. But alongside that, it seems like Venom DE have been able to bring down the player of TRZ right here, where Degree has been eliminated. TRZ down to just a two-man army now. Venom DE did take a knock off their own as well, but that's absolutely fine because the friend, the teammate, is around the corner to give in that perfect revival. But for TRZ, troubles have just started increasing, and tenfold increase is what they've got in terms of trouble, because two-man army on the map like Miramar with 2,500 meters to cover to get into the zone. This is a brutal Miramar for TRZ right now. But let's see how and where exactly are they going to fare by the end of this. For now, making a slow and steady rotation, with still 2 minutes remaining to complete stage 1. They are in a lot of trouble once they get into the zone, because they're so far away from the zone. All the other teams would have already made an entry into the zone and would have found a compound as well. So right now for TRZ, another trouble that could be around the corner would be, while they make a rotation, they could be sprayed on upon. And since both the players are in one single vehicle in that buggy, it could be tricky for them to get out of. But never mind, we'll come back to that later, as we've got Illuminate True on our screens. Viper with his Carl. I believe they're at Los Leones, right next to the players of STE. And action, what sliver of HP left on him, and he will be able to get away from that. Oh, never mind. He will not be able to get away from that. He had sliver of HP. He jumped out of the vehicle while the vehicle was moving, I believe. And now STE's other players are gonna have to make a run for it to give him that cover, because they're so far away. And this is why Illuminate True can very well participate in a fight against the players of STE.
But look at the players of
But
T2K, Blotter. They are also in the close proximity. There is a chance of a third party in the situation where IH won't be looking so good. Yes, they're trying to be the king of the hills. They're trying to capitalize on the information onto the players of Stalwart Esports. But this is something that I like about Stalwart Esports. Every single time they have back for each other. The moment a knock came in onto action over there, the teammate was ready with his buggy to go for the revival and the rescue mission. Remaining two players were standing over there to provide the necessary cover fire required. But Milzed, pushing his luck in the situation, has got a hefty damage from the side of IH. He needs to be a bit careful before coming out in the open.
Illuminate True are playing their cards right here, trying to just stop the players of STE from making too much of noise or rotations. With that, as we move on to the map itself, NB Esports working towards a late rotation. IHC are also working their way towards a late rotation. And look at that zone shift coming in, going towards Puerto Palacio, down south of La Bendita. Again, not a lot of room to work with, but Venom DE, they find themselves at the perfect position right there, where they've already found a compound, I'm sure, at Puerto Palacio region. And all they got to do is now wait it out, as teams are yet to get into the zone. So many teams are outside the zone, as we can see. But slowly, all of these colors and all of these dots are going to find themselves in the zone, and the fights are going to start erupting. And it's going to go crazy from there, because so many teams and not a lot of land that they've got to be able to work with in the zone.
Well, certainly, but like you mentioned, the position of DE, Venom, is so very crucial in this particular one. They have the entire control of Puerto Palacio. This has been their top location, so they didn't go for too many rotations. At the same time, this is the advantage, at the same time disadvantage, because when you don't go for too many rotations, you don't have the information onto the opponent. You have no idea where exactly your opponents are placed in a circle. But at the same time, you have a good cover, you have good residency in the entire city of Puerto. But on the other side, G2K, well, they're making some rotations, and look like the players of Stalwart Esports have spotted them down. We're trying to pep a few bullets. Yes, the vehicle of Jane has taken some damage. Even Jane is surviving on 10 HP. At the same time, Seog is right now in the crosshairs of IC. Well, T2K, well, they better make a quick run from the situation and escape to the safety net of the compounds of Miramar. But Stalwart Esports, well, all the 4 players still alive. This is something that Stalwart Esports are capitalizing on, the information. At one point, they were the king of the hills. They do have information onto so many teams. Now they have information about the players of T2K as well. This is going to be so very crucial in the later stage of the game, in the next circle, because right now they're on the coastline. So the backlines are very clear. All they need to do is look in the front and have as much information, how many teams have rotated, and accordingly plan out your next move.
Indeed, and as they try and do that, it seems like SKYLIGHTZ Gaming are going to be the one putting a full stop to all of that commotion that Stalwart Esports were a part of, because SKYLIGHTZ Gaming's Mafia Ninja has been able to drop down one of the players from STE. Of course, the teammate is around the corner to give him the revival. But SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, they are looking very, very advantageous in this position because they are on top of the hill as well. So they've got the advantage of the height in that fight against STE. But now it seems like SKYLIGHTZ Gaming are going to be falling back from that fight, interestingly enough. Even though the position that they've got is absolutely pristine, they do not want to overcommit this fight, it seems like. And now we've got IHC slowly moving their way towards the edge of the zone. Bad Intentions also working their way from the south to get an entry into the zone. Not going to be an easy conversion for Bad Intentions, as well as so many teams are going to be waiting for them. 4MV, one of the biggest names, is right around the corner for IHC as well, as DRZ's Steel Shot and of course his teammate Mamba are a two-man squad waiting at the southern edge for either IHC or Bad Intentions to of course go across their compound and provide them with an opportunity to get the elimination points. Though, same as the storyline from the north as well, as DRS also making a very, very, very late rotation right now.
Agreed. DRS is going for a late rotation, and it's not going to be so easy for them to transition inside the circle, because look at the amount of teams, the cluster that is forming on the northern side. But on the southern side, look at the position of the players of 4MV. They have the entire control of the periphery of the circle. They just need to be a bit careful about the position of SITM, and as long as they're doing so, I think they can stop the players of IHC or Bad Intention in the tracks, because the blue is also dishing out the double damage. But looks like DEADEYES, well, they have spotted on the players of NB Esports, and one of the players from NB has been taken down out in the open. The revival is not going to be so easy, and with the vehicle explosion, Slayer is already looking for the confirmation. But somewhere else on the map, the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming are also getting picked off, as I can see one player is still bleeding. I wonder who is it, which is the other team that is poking the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, because SKYLIGHTZ, well, they were looking good in terms of the rotations that they were making. Could be the players of DE or could be the players of I8 who are trying to gatekeep the players of SKYLIGHTZ. But IHC, well, they have rushed onto the compound of TRZ Esports. Trades are coming back and forth, but Godless is going to eliminate the entirety of the team along with LX and IHC. They have managed to get 2 defeat points without facing any casualty. Yes, Zoil was taken down, but an easy revival will be coming in.
Indeed, I mean, IHC have been able to eliminate the final 2 players of TRZ, but now, having taken over the compound, they need to worry about the vicinity, and in that vicinity, they've got a big name like 4MV to deal with. Thankfully for IHC, all 4 players are still standing, and it seems like Stalwart Esports are going to be retaliating to the push that was made from the side of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. Being on top of the mountain, it seems has not favored them much, as we can see on our screens as well. From one side it is ASL, from the other it's going to be STE. SG have a world of trouble brewing for them. Brewing against them, as Nima makes an entry into the small little dip. It is going to be Sleepy from the side of ASL along with Chari and his nade, who can very well, of course, dissipate this push from the side of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. And D2K from the backlines are going to be able to take down the numbers from the side of Stalwart Esports as well. And Chari's nade will bring down Nima. But of course, there will be an equal trade, in fact, being showcased right there. For ASL have also lost out on one of their players now.
It was actually a third party that the players of DRS are doing. T2K and DRS are doing the multiple third and fourth parties onto the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, Abrupt Slayers. And this is not looking good at all. On the other side, DE Slayer, well, he is picking up the plus of DRS. This Miramar is becoming so chaotic as DRS, well, they have to worry about their own numbers right now. But true love, sir, with that vehicle is closing the distance between the plus of DRS and himself. Abrupt Slayers, they do have a good compound. And SKYLIGHTZ Gaming did realize that this is not the best position to be in. So they have to reposition themselves. After going for the revival, now they are looking for a safe residency somewhere else. But DRS Gaming Delta, what just happened? He didn't shoot. Well, buddy, if you are not going to shoot, don't expect the same thing from your enemy. They are definitely going to shoot in your direction, and that is exactly what happened. DE, well, they have managed to eliminate the entirety of DRS Gaming at the 15th position. Well, after one phenomenal gameplay, the very next gameplay, DRS have been taken down pretty early in the game, but DE, well, they are looking super strong. 5 defeat points already in their pockets.
Indeed, not entirely sure what was going on in DRS's mind over there. He saw the vehicle cross him, and he was just waiting. I mean, DRS, it seems like there was a little bit of a miscommunication over there, but never mind all that, as Stalwart Esports get eliminated. With that on our screens, we've got NV Esports taking shots against the players of Elementrix as well, as Elementrix are left with just entry frag. I believe he is probably the final player. No, Elementrix have 2 players remaining. Gimli and Orangey were eliminated thanks to, of course, NB Esports' Mondo and his approach. And on the Krill feed, we can see IHC's Demo is also taking shots against the players of 4MV. And 4MV are losing out on their players one by one as third parties brought on from the side of Venom DE as well in that fight. But on our screens, NB Esports are completely obliterating the possibility of Elementrix to be able to get a decent point conversion in this game. As now, finally, Elementrix is left with just a one-man squad.
Well, certainly Elementrix is remaining with only one player, and T2K, well, they have not managed to get any defeat point up until now, but they have information onto the plus SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, and AJ all by himself out there in the open. I wonder what he is doing. Sandesh has spotted him down, but I like the way that Sandesh is not overcommitting in this fight. Yes, he did manage to take down quite a lot of HP from the side of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming player, but he did spot the plus of Abrupt Slayers and takes down Vishal over there, trying to get the confirmation onto Sleepy as well. There is no help that is coming for the plus of Abrupt Slayers as of now, but T2K Esports, look at the way they are not overcommitting. They are finding trades here and there, trying to get the confirmation without overcommitting in any situation, without trying to take unnecessary risk and lose out on their own numbers.
Though interestingly enough, for T2K Sandesh, he does not have quite a lot of utility actually. Throwables and all has been missing from his side. But with that, it seems like IHC's Demo is going to be able to bring down not 1 but 2. No, never mind that. Kreta is going to be able to stop Demo in his tracks as IHC lose out on one of their players once again as well, as they're left with just a 2-man squad. It is going to be Venom DE who have had a better fight in this, and seems like Venom DE are not yet done against the players of IHC, as a perfect nade and that spray will be the final blow that IHC needed, and they have been eliminated right now on the 13th position. 12 teams remaining. Venom DE with 7 defeat points. They are jumping into the zone like they own it, and the momentum with which Relay is playing, with 5 eliminations confirmed for his side, is looking spot on, and the kind of overextended play that is required from the side of Venom DE, well, that's exactly what he's doing. But right in front of him is going to be a player of 4MV. Will he spray on? No, he will not. Rather, he'll get sprayed upon. 4MV, what an incredible apex. What an incredible journey, feat that was to hide in the vehicle and then, of course, spray down, but sadly not get the elimination point. Of course, he was the final player remaining, and he has been eliminated as well. So Venom DE, their momentum just helps them through one fight to the other. 8 defeat points already confirmed, and we're still looking at 11 teams remaining.
Well, certainly 11 teams, 31 players remaining, and really in that particular situation, he saw a few of the crates, became a little greedy for the loot, just directly went for the crates to grab those necessary resources, forgot to scout the area, check the area properly. That is where the last man from the side of 4MV was hiding. Yes, he did manage to take down Rally, but was not able to get the confirmation because of the instant backup that came in cover fire, that came in for Rally in that particular situation. Even looking at the circle also, DE Venom, the only threat they're having is in the name of SITM. Otherwise, they have the entire southern control in their favor. I8, yes, they do have a height advantage. They do have a good compound to their name, position to hold on to on the kind of center position. But even the plus of bad intention, look at the position. If Circle goes towards a bit of the southern side, Bad Intentions are also having a very good position, but look like Abrupt Slayers Gangster has been taken down. And look at the position of AJ. Just a small little shack. The buggy is definitely going to give away his position, and sooner or later, someone is going to throw grenades or molotovs in his direction. That is where AJ need to worry.
Well, we'll see if at all he'll be spotted from the side of T2K right now or not, because T2K is all over the place. If they want, they could very well annihilate the final player, AJ, from the side of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. But for now, T2K have not been able to scope him out yet. On the other front, we've got Venom, DE, Relay, getting close to the positioning of SITM's QB, as he goes for the flank and perfectly tries to, of course, dominate and gets naded on. Venom, DE's Relay knows now exactly where that player is. He's going to be cooking that nade to perfection, but will that result and yield in a point for himself? Because QB, he's not yet done. He's utilized all of his nades. Now all he has is, of course, one Molotov, one stun and 3 smoke. So the throwables are also now missing from QB's side from SITM. But he does have his teammate Jiro right behind him to give him the cover if at all Venom DE overextends.
And they are not looking to overextend, but Kurita was out there in the open, and QB instantly spots him, knocks him down, trying to get the confirmation as well. But Relay with the grenade is looking for some opening onto the plus of SITM, but unfortunately the grenade is not going to be that perfect or precise onto QB. So SITM, they do have the numbers, and Kurita, well, there is no time to save him. So DE Venom, the numbers are not in the favor, but Relay is having a very good run. He's the aggressive force from the side of Venom DE. Can he clutch it out again in the situation against the players of SITM? That's the main question. Because both these teams are potentially looking to dominate from the southern side. If they manage to eliminate SITM or vice versa, SITM manage to eliminate DE Venom, they're going to have the entire southern control in their hands. No one is going to contest them, at least for the next circle or few minutes.
Absolutely, with 9 teams remaining right now from far away distance, Venom's Relay is going to be spraying onto the players of SITM Desert, trying his level best to be able to just stay on his feet, and he will be able to, as his teammate is going to be around to be able to help him out. But I guess finally the spray is going to be able to connect. Desert's getting eliminated right here for sure, as Venom DE lose out on one of their players, Farhad, and Relay against, of course, 2 players of SITM. One side is going to be QB, the other side is going to be Jiro. So 2v1 situation, and the nade that he just threw was his last one. That means that throwables are also done for the side of Relay now. All he can do is try and get a perfect knock onto the players of SITM, but sadly that's also not possible. Looking unlikely, as we do have SITM just easily able to scope him out, and Venom DE get eliminated with 10 eliminations. So definitely a kudos, valiant effort from Venom DE has resulted in them getting decent amount of points from this game. But the game is not yet done, as T2K with 7 defeat points of their own are just pushing on with all 4 players to try and get this chicken dinner in the bag. But they are at the edge of the zone towards the western side. They've got 6 more teams to deal with before they can call this game their own.
Well, certainly they are trying to get this game in their pockets, but on the other side, we have the players of I8. This time, I8 is also looking good in terms of the position they are having. Yes, they do have a good compound to hold on to, but for how long? Because sooner or later, someone will try and invade in their compound. That is where they have to defend the compound, and if they manage to do so, they can survive further in the game. But yes, SITM, in that particular fight with the players of DE Venom, they did manage to get the height advantage. And in the map of Miramar, if you have a height advantage, you are definitely at a vantage point. You do have certain advantage onto the opponent team. But look at the players of Leo Esports, so very silent in the entire game. They have managed to keep the entire western control of the circle in their favor. Now they have started picking the players of NB Esports, and with that, NB Esports is down to only one man. Sek, look at him, he's just hiding between those 2 containers, and sooner or later Leo Esports will spot him out as well. But right now, Haidami, well, he's looking in the direction of Precious Sir, and Precious Sir, well, for how long can he survive? Because it's not just Haidami. I'm very sure soon all his teammates will be looking in the direction of Precious Sir, and he's the only man standing from the side of DE. And look like the play zone is going to take him down. But SITM, now they are going up against the players of Leo Esports. Mr. Smokey had no idea where his Giro is, and Giro capitalized on it, took down Mr. Smokey, and with his grenade is looking for one more knock, if not knock, one more confirmation, at least on the players of Leo Esports, and looks like the grenade lands perfectly and gets a confirmation onto Mr. Smokey. Now Leo Esports surviving with only 2 members. Giro has to reposition himself, otherwise the barrage of grenades might come from the side of Leo.
Indeed, for Leo Esports right now, they've got an opening that they have to be able to spot on. Of course, eliminate the players of SITM. That is the way the entry could be made right here from this side and get into the zone. But that, of course, is easier said than done right now. As we can clearly see, Leo Esports, they decide to actually fall back and decide to not stick around in this area for much longer, apparently. Where SITM's Giro is, of course, hoping that the team of Leo Esports come towards him so that he can get more points confirmed in terms of the defeats. But SITM, they're also a 2-man squad, so they are going to have to play it safe as well. Giro is out in the open quite a lot. He's slowly making his way towards the zone. But little does he know, T2K, Bad Intentions, they're all waiting over there. And Leo Esports now are also probably going to be waiting for the players of SITM. As of yet, of course, SITM's player has not been able to spot any of the other opponent teams. He's just slowly from the southern side, inch by inch, moving in closer and closer towards the zone. And Leo Esports says, Haitami, he knows that there was this one team and one player over here who was being a world of trouble to the players of Leo. So Haitami is trying to just scope him out as well, as Bad Intentions now lose out on one of the players. They've taken a fight against the players of T2K, and T2K Sandesh along with Reg, his teammate, are going to be prepping themselves up to stop Bad Intentions in their track. And all the 4 players of T2K are now part of this one individual fight against the players of Bad Intentions. The only thing you need to worry about is to not get third-partied.
Well, certainly there is a chance of a third party happening, and T2K has to be very careful of that. With that, Buggy Sandesh is trying to lure the players out in the open, and the play zone is going to play its part as the players of Bad Intention are falling down through the hands of the wall of death. That is the blue zone, but Sandesh with an Info 16 is going for a close frontal battle against the players of Bad Intention, and looks like Sandesh is going to get taken down by Alpha. Bad Intentions, they have to be very careful. Smokes are definitely there to help Alpha out in the situation, but he doesn't have the HP, and CU with a UMP 45 was already closing in the distance, and with that Alpha gets taken down. And mind you, Bad Intention, after putting up a valiant effort, good fight against the players of T2K, have been eliminated. Now T2K are still looking so very strong, 9 defeat points, but they are not ready for the third party fight at this point. But SITM are going up against the players of Leo Esports, and Leo Esports is going to annihilate the entirety of SITM, and SITM bids bye-bye at 5th spot with good elimination point. This is going to give some time to the players of T2K to go for the necessary revivals onto the fallen teammates. At the same time, Leo Esports, well, they are looking so very strong. They have the entire control of the southern side. Only team that can give them a bit of trouble is going to be T2K, and looks like T2K is definitely doing so as CEO picks off Liquid.
Well, equal trades being showcased right here from the side of this team, but Leo Esports, they're already a 3-man squad. Bring that down to 2 because Liquid is already down, and he's the man with the ghillie suit. So a lot of trouble that Leo Esports are in. Same could be said for the players of T2K as well, as they have one of their players knocked down. So Yog needs to get that revival. Sandesh is already out in the flank angle. So perfect opportunity that could be capitalized on the players of T2K because the numbers are going to be favoring them. They've already got 9 defeat points, and it's all thanks to Reg and Sandesh. Utilizing those opportunities optimistically is what T2K have done thus far. And now with just 4 teams remaining, Illuminate True, they've got 0 defeat points. They need to be the ones opening up their ranks as well, as we have Illuminate Crew Sky dropping down. Leo Esports and T2K fight continues on as both of them take equal trades. T2K and Leo Esports are now a 3-man gang. Whereas for NB Esports, the final player bids adieu to the lobby. And now we've got Leo Esports 3-man army against the 3-man squad of T2K. Sandesh had pushed on ahead towards the flank, was spotted out, and in turn has been eliminated. Illuminate True though this time around, they've got all 4 players surviving. They've got the numbers advantage, they've got the compound in their favor, but can they do anything with it? It seems no is the answer, as T2K is going to be able to scope out the player Woofes from Illuminate True, as Illuminate True play in the backlines where T2K have been eliminated now thanks to the approach being showcased from the side of Leo Esports. And it seems like we are getting closer and closer to getting second prediction right there, Bhavna, for you, because Leo Esports, they seem to be in control of this fight. But for how long though?
But the numbers are in the favor of I8, and Sky is already dwindling down the numbers of Leo Esports by taking down one player, and looks like in the end Play Zone takes down Haidami also, because the circle was in the favor of I8, and with that I8 getting the beautiful winner chicken dinner for themselves on the week number 2 second game of Miramar. This is the I8 that I was waiting for. So I8, kudos to the valiant efforts they put up in this particular one.
Indeed, I mean, they had 0 defeat points. They were just patiently waiting. And then in the final moments, of course, the fight came to them with that 5 eliminations, 670 total damage. They find 15 points out of this game. All right, and with that, we've got second game done for the day. As we started it off, it was looking very, very good on the map of Miramar. So many teams were able to bring themselves up. In T2K, you talk about consistency in the previous game as well as in this one. They are looking like a very well-oiled rhythmed machine, you know, and they are doing it to, of course, get the numbers in the bag for themselves on day 1 itself of week 2.
Well, certainly, T2K, I never had any kind of complaint from T2K, and yes, they have improved their performance in the map of Miramar. So week number 2, they are going to look super strong. Yes, they were not in top 4 position in week number 1, but if they continue the same domination in the coming days also in this particular week, I think T2K can be the team that can try and topple over some big teams in the leaderboard, at least in the top 4. So T2K definitely a team that I'm looking forward to.
Indeed.
But with that, we are going to head towards a short little break. You guys stay tuned, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
And we're back once again, of course, with that. 2 games done, 3 more games do remain for the day. And, well, again, week 2, it is off to a wonderful start. The teams are showcasing some very wonderful and brilliant resilience to their opponents as well. And all of that, we did see Raw officials get decent amount of points. We saw Bad Intentions participate in fights. We're looking at T2K obliterating their competition and, of course, moving on ahead with quite a momentous boost that we've seen from the side of that team. Leo Esports, I mean, the Mongolian side, they've kind of dwindled down a little bit, at least till now on day number 1. For Leo Esports, 4MV, IHC have not been able to do much, but the journey continues on. And of course, with that, game number 3. This time, I believe we're going to be moving towards Sanhok, right, Shadow?
Yeah, the third one is going to be Sanhok, where I believe Group C will be sitting out.
Absolutely.
So that means DRS Gaming, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, NB Esports, IH Crew, they're sitting this one out. So soon we'll have the prediction thing also. And that reminds me, Leo Esports, they came so close to getting that winner chicken dinner for themselves. I was so very happy that I'm going to get my second correct prediction. But feels like since I predicted Leo Esports, they're not going to get this one. But sadly, yeah, the story of my life. I never get correct prediction.
Again, I mean, it could have been, I actually did...
It happened second time. The first game also, Stalwart Esports. And this time again, I'm not going to count how many times it happened in week number 1.
Indeed, that is so true. It's just bad luck, It's just bad luck, I think. Or maybe I cursed it. Like that's the second thing I was going to say, because as soon as we had only 2 teams remaining, it was, of course, Illuminate and Leo. And it seemed like Leo could be the one looking very good. They were having eliminated T2K, but Illuminate, true, they had the numbers in their favor. But nevertheless, moving away from that towards the top player side, we've got Reg from the side of T2K with 5 eliminations, 955 damage done. Venom DE's relay has been looking phenomenal as well, as he got 5 to 6 eliminations. There we have it, 760 damage done and dished out within 21 minutes. Now again, eliminations is 6, but damage is 760 compared to, of course, Rig right there with 955 damage. Quite an impressive performance from the side of T2K, as his teammate Sandesh is also going to be joining in with the highest damage of 1065. Boy, oh boy, this team from Nepal is doing wonders today.
Well, certainly they are doing wonders, and Godless from the side of IHC, highest healings done. This is not the department he want to lead, but IHC, yes, Godless in week number 1, this is a guy who showcased some good performance with those DBS shots. I'm still waiting for that performance to be replicated in this particular week. But looking at the match ranking, IH Crew, they're sitting in the top. I'm so very happy. This is the IH Crew that I was waiting for. Yes, not so aggressive performance from their side, but still a very good head start to week number 2. They're sitting right on the top. On the bottom, we have the players of Stalwart Esports on the 15th with 0 points to their name. 4MV, what is happening to the players of 4MV? Back-to-back 2 bad games in their hands.
Indeed. Just not what was anticipated from the side of this team. A team that was in the lead, right? I mean, 258 points or something like that is what they had in week 1 by the end of day 5. And now on day 2, or rather week 2, my apologies, day 1, 4MV is just missing the marker. They're just completely getting walked over basically from the opponent teams, and that is something that we did not expect. Or maybe it's just the way they want to be able to play it out on day number 1. And as we progress on, now since we still have 3 more games remaining, there is a chance and a possibility for 4MV, IHC, Leo Esports, SITM to start making a rise, start making a comeback. Because week 1, we saw a very different side of these teams that I just named. And now week 2, we're looking at a completely opposite side of the teams, that they are not wanting to participate in a lot of fights. They're not able to actually convert those fights into points for themselves. So troubled Mongolian teams is what we're looking at right now.
Certainly, or maybe it could be the reason that the opponent teams are having a read onto you. When you're dominating the lobby, every single team is going to keep a close eye onto your rotations, onto your drops, every single thing. They are going to study your gameplay so very precisely that they're going to come up so strong that they can cut off your rotation. Maybe this could be the thing that is happening wrong with the players of 4MV, but still they are a very skilled team. I'm very sure they are going to soon do a comeback. But in the overall ranking of this particular week, we have T2K Esports because of the consistency, no chicken dinner, sitting on the top with 21 points. Stalwart Esports also, and 21 points to them as well. sitting
The
on the second
exact same
spot.
number. Exact same number
Exactly.
of placement points, exact same number of elimination points. Well, T2K and Stalwart Esports, they seem to be sharing the bed today, but along with that, as we move on ahead, we've got, of course, Eliminate True sitting on the third spot, followed along with our DRS, only 2 points shy, sitting on the fourth. So, a very good start for these teams that are in the top six, most certainly. But let's move on to the second page, and we're looking at something that was showcased in the week number one as well. Seal Esports sitting on the 20th position. Elementrix Esports not having a jump start that they want. High Voltage Esports, a team that was looking so very good in week one, has not really been able to get the opportunity till now in the games that they've played to convert a decent amount of points for themselves. But hopefully, now in this third game that'll be on Sanhok, it is a short map that implies that there are a lot many opportunities to, of course, get those elimination points. So perhaps it could be a game where so many of these teams sitting on the second page might be able to rack up those numbers for themselves.
Well, certainly, this is even I'm also hoping, because at the very start, on the very first day, if you manage to do a comeback, if you manage to accumulate many points for yourself, I think that is going to help you in the long run, because the bonus points are also going to help the consistent teams, not just the teams who dominate the weekendy map. Yes, you are going to qualify for the weekendy match by being in top 12, but the bonus points are going to be rewarded by overall ranking. So that means consistency is the key. If you're consistent, you are going to get extra bonus points for your team and yourself. So right now the only two teams who are consistent are T2K and Stalwart Esports. But looking at the schedule of today, now we are heading towards Sanhok, and Group C this time will be sitting out. That means DRS Gaming, the team that showcase or that shines in the map of Sanhok, they are sitting out. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming get to spread their wings. NB Esports having a very good run on day one, number one of week two. IH Crew again having a very good run.
Indeed. With that, now, of course, the age-old question needs to be brought on as well, which is going to be the prediction time. And the prediction time, the graph and the bar, it needs to, of course, rack up more numbers right now. So first you go, Shadow. What team, according to you, do you want to predict for a chicken dinner winner on Sanhok?
This time I'm not going to go with the stats, because T2K, yes, Sanhok is not their strongest map, but just because of the consistency that is coming from their side, I'm going to go with T2K.
All right, T2K set up from Shadow's side, from my side on the map of Sanhok. I would love to see High Voltage bring in an action-packed gameplay for themselves. So HV is going to be my pick for this upcoming game. But let's see on Sanhok, is it going to be allowed? Is it going to be even possible for High Voltage to make that sort of a marker? We are going to find out. I have high expectations from High Voltage, from IHC as well, because they need to rack up those points and numbers. And that is something that, again, today also we've noticed from the side of Godless and his teammates, it is missing. And the roster change that we've seen from the side of IHC, it does not seem to be helping them out much. The synergy with which they used to roam around the maps earlier in PMPL, it has completely dissipated from IHC. So fingers crossed that this week number 2 allows them to get back on that high horse that we saw from them in the previous PMPLs.
Well, certainly, whenever there is a roster change happening, there is a certain change in the synergy of the players. They need some time to adapt to each other, to the communication that comes from the IGL. So, yes, the team needs certain time, but I'm very sure IHC, they are going to deliver a fantastic performance. It's just one game, one good game they are waiting for. And IH, well, they got that good game they were waiting for, but I'm impressed by the players of Bad Intention. I will repeat it again. Whenever a team from the bottom starts climbing up the ladder, I'm very happy to see that climb in their performance. So Bad Intention, very high hopes from this particular team in this particular one. But now is the time for Sanhok, and let's find out where the flight path is going from. And it's all the way from the side of Cow towards Docks.
Indeed, that is true. As this is just the first flight part itself, we've got T2K having split up with a two-man split. Sandesh, along with his teammate, are going to be towards one side, and then T2K Jane is going to be factoring out towards another. A very scattered approach from T2K, which again, all four players are playing their own individual game. Rig, Sandesh, Suyog, and Jane. Alongside all of that, ASL, having made their name and their presence felt at Camp Bravo, right, going to be in the vicinity of T2K's players as well. As we've got IHC also towards the north, we can see mainly spread across Tatmok and Khao. But the biggest trouble that could be brewing for a few of these teams is going to be TRZ and Raw. Towards the southern side, we can see that they are at Camp Charlie. Or never mind that, TRZ is actually going to be moving away from Camp Charlie as well. So early contestations don't really see any team around each other to bring in some drops, but it is the map of Sanhok, so only a matter of time before we are part of fights, third parties, fourth parties that are all going to be thrown. But Maptex says Wally. Oh, the sad start this could have been for him because he's all by his lonesome. On the mini map also we can see the only one brown dot is his, as his teammates are nowhere around. And Raw officials, all of them are going to be jumping and pouncing onto the opportunity to take this elimination point for themselves as Wally just tries to rush away from the area. But right now, it seems they've not really been able to actually spot him out. Oh, well, they have. They bring in a spray. 3 of them actually jump in together. And just like that, of course, Wally gets eliminated. The first blood has been drawn from Claw from Raw. Is the man who's been able to get that point in his favor. But overall, though, Mabatex have lost out on one of their players, of course. And right now, they need to be a little bit more careful as they make the rotation because Raw's yet outer is right around the corner over there, waiting for Mabtex's players to cross him. So tough luck for Mabtex right here on the map of Sanhok.
Well, certainly, because Maptex Esports, they always have a good run whenever it comes to Sanhok, but this time not a good start. This is something not they were expecting, and on this particular day, this is the second time that Valley from the side of Maptex Esports was caught out in a tricky spot where he was all by himself, and again, this costed him his life. But talking about Sanhok, a lot of teams like splitting up in Sanhok because you want to make sure you have all the loot for yourself, and all those houses, they only have so much. So the split drop that comes from so many teams, sometimes it backfires. That is exactly what happened with the player Wally from the side of Maptex Esports, but I'm very sure Maptex, they're going to recover, and this game is going to be a good game from their side. But right now, we have the players of Stalwart Esports also picking up a fight with the players of DE Venom, and looks like trades are coming back and forth. And SITM is also in a close proximity, so looks like it could be a third-party situation.
Well, again, this is the map of Sanhok. We know third parties are going to be drawn sooner than later, and that's exactly what we are looking at right now. For Venom DE, a tough luck affair as Farad along with Dom has been dropped down. For STE as well, they need to get a teammate revived from far away. Critter from Venom DE tries to, of course, eliminate the possibility of STE getting any points for themselves. Sadly, not going to be the case. The distance is a little too much for Venom DE to do anything about, as now with the 2-man split that they had has gone against them, as 4MV have pounced upon and taken on the players of Stalwart Esports. Stalwart Esports down to a 2-man army. They're going to try and get a revival done, and they probably will be able to as well, because 4MV are not making an unnecessary push right now. They were able to bring the spray and, of course, damage the possibility of Stalwart Esports, but that is all that 4 Miracle Vibes are going to be doing right now. Had they decided to pounce on to the opportunity after taking that one knock towards Stalwart Esports could probably have been eliminated right now. But nevertheless, a good start for 4MV because they need this sort of momentum boost. And now it seems like third party being brought on top of them against the players of SITM, as SITM were up above them on this mountain, which in turn has resulted in 4 Mythical Vibes also down to a 2-man army.
Again, the third game not going in the favor of the table toppers of previous week, 4MV. What is happening? They lost 2 of their players in the very early stage of the game, and right now they have all the 4 players of SITM right in front of them. But somewhere else, from far off angle, Zodi from the side of Raw takes down Rayleigh of DE Venom, and looks like Krita is also not looking so good as he's down to 40 HP something. Zodi with that M416 and a 4-time scope is looking for a confirmation onto Rayleigh. Let's see if we can get the confirmation. But Stalwart Esports, again, 4MV Apex has been picked off, leaving Doc all by himself. The Grenadier, can he lob perfect grenades this time and bring down the numbers of SITM? And looks like, I doubt that's gonna happen because Doc is not making any move to save his fallen teammate. at this point because he knew he's a lost cause. There is no chance to save him, and the confirmation is already there. Looks like the last player was also picked off, and 4MV,
Wow.
they become the first team to be eliminated. The table toppers of the previous game, they are not looking good at all right now. They are somewhere on the bottom of the ranking of week number 2. This is very shocking from the side of 4MV. Where is the momentum? Where is the confidence? Like, looks like the opponents have read 4MV so perfectly now that they are not able to do anything in this situation.
Oh, it's just sad what's happening right now for 4MV's side. It seemed like they had a decent start, but never mind that, because right now it's going to be the nades being brought on from the side of T2K's rig. And just like that, ASL's Gangsta is going to be eliminated. Sleepy right around the rock. Could not do much. Again, he should have the information. He should have been able to, help his teammate out. But sadly, of course, he's all by his lonesome, as we can see in the minimap towards the top right-hand side. And while all this goes on, Raw officials get eliminated on the 15th position as well, with that 14 teams remaining right now. Abrupt Slayers Sleepy is stuck behind a rock. Cannot really do much. But on the other side of the game itself, it seems like finally Sleepy is going to be making an end. Making a spray, and that in turn is going to be allowing T2K to lose out on one of the player. And that perfect Molotov. This could have been so very important, but whatever the situation is, this is the opening that ASL is going to be using. Sleepy is going to be pushing back away from that compound because he knows all by his lonesome he's not going to be able to do anything over there. And his teammates are right around here. A very tricky position that Sleepy was in, but perfectly played from the side of ASL Sleepy as he got that knock and then pushed back away from the position of T2K.
Well, certainly, talking about T2K, right now they are in close proximity to the players of Seal Esports. At the same time, we have the players of Stalwart Esports having the occupancy in the quarry region. So these three teams need to be a bit careful, because from the northern side, IHC is also making a rotation. That means too many third parties can happen in this situation. On the other side, on the southern side, look at the position of Bad Intention, again in a very good spot, but Alpha, well, with that M416, he finds a perfect knock onto the players of Leo Esports. Can he get the confirmation? But look at Sancher. He's all by himself right in the vicinity of T2K. And the minute T2K gets to know there is a player lurking nearby, and look at Jane also, he's also being one with the nature. And looks like Sancher is spotted down. Sanhok over there finds a knock, but only to be knocked down by himself. But Aero also takes down Jane over there from the side of T2K. This is something T2K were not prepared for, and Jane has been eliminated. Instant confirmations also coming in, and now T2K, they are in a big trouble.
They definitely are, because T2K have lost out on numbers as they're left with just a two-man army, and now Seal Esports take on the sprays from the side of T2K against the players of IHC now. As we've spoken about this earlier as well, Seal Esports and IHC, they are bound to lock horns if they're playing in the single game. And that is exactly what just took place, as Seal Esports are a little scattered as well. On the other side, we do have a Rogue from Seal taking shots, and of course bringing down the possibility of Stalwart Esports to get a decent good game out for themselves, as the nades have been able to stop Stalwart Esports. But now for Seal Esports, Rogue, what exactly can he contribute to this team fight that's taking place against IHC? Seal Esports did lose out on Aero, but have been able to get the revival on him. Now this is a troubling position that Seal Esports are in. From one side, of course, they were taking shots against IHC. From the other, they were bringing down the players of Stalwart Esports as well. But all in all, of course, T2K also chiming along with Sandesh and Dreg, the only two players surviving. They try and take the opportunity in their favor, as they also spray onto the position of IHC. So everybody, at least 2 to 3 teams, are spraying onto the position of IHC. IHC, a lost cause it seems like for them right now, as Rig has been able to spot them out, and just like that, he will be able to eliminate Ziol from IHC. As Ziol goes down, IHC are down to just a 3-man army now.
Even T2K have been brought down to only 2 members, Sandesh and Rig only surviving from the side of T2K. They have to be very cautious in this situation. But LX has been taken down by Sanchar of Seal Esports, and Seal Esports, they are looking so very confident in this particular one. They have all the 4 players alive. They do have a certain real estate to their name, and they're capitalizing on that, especially Sanchar, because both the confirmation points have come from the side of Sanchar. Now Seal Esports also needs to be a bit careful because they are out there in the open, and in a map like Sanhok, in the third circle with 14 teams alive, if you're out there in the open, you have to be very careful. And look at the cluster that is forming towards the southern side of the cave. We have the players of Leo Esports, Maptex Esports, even the players of Elementrix also, TRZ. So many teams are present over there. So there is a chance of fight happening, and maybe a third party also happening at that particular area. At the same time, we have the players of High Voltage going for a very late rotation. They're still in the city of Painan, taking the damage of the blue. Well, they better hurry up because SITM is ready to welcome them.
Exactly, SITM is definitely ready to pounce upon the opportunity, and of course the vehicle movement that is being made from the side of High Voltage is already going to be given away to SITM's players, which in turn they are going to be spraying on upon. But we'll see if and how that is going to change. There we have it. High Voltage have been sprayed on upon as they try to make that rotation. It is SITM who have dropped down one of the players, and that's going to be Assassin, if I'm not wrong. Jiggle Malik right around the corner, trying to hold on to this bridge and their dear life, of course. But there's nothing much that can be done for High Voltage, as High Voltage, a lot of trouble for them. One is the Blues that has got up to them. Second is SITM's players who are spraying on and bringing in the nade parade against them. So High Voltage, even though they thought they would have a decent game if they try a late rotation on Sanhok, seems like the entire strategy has gone down the drain, as now slowly but surely High Voltage lose out on the numbers. One player has been eliminated. 2 of them remain. One of them already knocked down. Another nade from Zero could be very detrimental for High Voltage, along with the Blues damage that they are taking. This is definitely not the kind of play that High Voltage would have expected on Sanhok, but sadly, that is what they're going to have to face.
Well, certainly SITM players, they are placed perfectly to gatekeep the players of High Voltage, and double trouble for High Voltage because the blue is also catching up. That is also giving us some damage, but Prabeen from the blue is going to take down Dobu. That is going to bring some opening for the players of High Voltage so that they can transition themselves inside the circle. But SITM, they still need to be very careful of SITM. At the same time, in the close proximity, we have the players of Elementrix also. So there is a third party situation that is also brewing up. So High Voltage, they need to be very careful. Even along with 4MV, High Voltage is also not having the best of the time on week number 2, day 1. Because in the very first game also, High Voltage, they were taken out pretty early in the game when T2K managed to annihilate them. This time also not looking so very good in the situation. Yes, there is no chance to save Dobu in the situation, but Jiro from the side of SATM is all by himself in that very compound. He's trying not to give any kind of sound cue to the players of High Voltage, but a 1v3 situation is way too much for even Jiro to deal with. But Playzone is going to come into the action as Malik gets taken down.
Indeed, and Chiro now trying to fall back and away from the position where he lost out on his teammate, and it seems like he's going to be sprayed on upon. High Voltage's Assassin was able to bring down a little bit of a health of Jiro right there, but not much, as High Voltage now are going to be on the chase as they get into their vehicle. High Voltage lose out on Malik as well, so they're down to just a 2-man army for themselves. Prabeen and Assassin, the only 2 players remaining for High Voltage. A very difficult outing right there between High Voltage and SITM, as SITM lose out on their final player, Jiro. It is going to be SITM bidding adieu to this lobby. But all in all, towards the north, we've got IHC from the Quarry region. As they make an entry, they've got Seal and DEADEYES guys to deal with, to be, of course, be able to jump away from that area is not going to be easy for IHC as well.
Well, certainly it's not so easy, especially when you don't have the numbers. Only Demo and Godless are surviving from the side of IHC, and they're trying to rotate from the northern side. So many teams are going to stop them, or are going to try and stop them in the tracks. But T2K, well, that very little track that they're holding is not going to be the best position to be in, and the smokes are being deployed to deny vision to the players of Abrupt Slayers. Abrupt Slayers, they do have the numbers advantage. It's a 2v3 situation, and the way they are closing in the distance towards T2K Esports, well, T2K, they are susceptible to the grenades that might come in towards their side. But on the other side of the map, we have Venom Krita taking down the plus of Elementrix Esports, and Astra goes down, looking for the confirmation point as well. But perfect grenade comes in from the side of Chari, takes down Ring.
Absolutely, this is not the kind of trouble that they expected for themselves. But T2K, with Sandesh left, Rig almost down. Of course, revival will be there for him. But the two-man army from the side of T2K are in a world of trouble that they are not really prepared to deal with, I don't think. They are at the edge of the zone. And another 10 seconds and the zone is going to be constricting on top of itself once again. Abrupt Slayers, though, as we can see on our screens, Chari has been able to scope out the players of Stalwart. But Stalwart Esports, they themselves have a compound, and that is their safety net. Though sadly for ASL, for T2K, that is not likely to be the case. And T2K and ASL now lock horns. Bishal, so very close, almost a sliver of HP, finally was able to get that first aid popped, which in turn, of course, brings up his health. But now it's a 2v1 affair. Chari on the backlines is trying to give that cover, but it seems like that's just not going to be enough, because on top, of course, we do have Stalwart Esports utilizing the opportunity. And precisely the reason why IC has been drawn into Stalwart Esports' roster. Because this is the kind of massive punches that he throws in the lobby. On the other side for IHC, as we were talking about it earlier as well, as they make an entry from the quarry, trouble is going to be brewing for them, and that's exactly what has taken place, as Godless is up, but his teammate is down.
Well, certainly his teammate is down, but Stalwart Esports, look at the position. They are being the king of the hills, and they came as a blessing in disguise for the players of T2K. But Chari, well, he's taking a lot of damage from the blue. Sandesh has been taken down. Rig is going to go for the rescue mission. On the other side, we have the players of Bad Intention also falling down, and Chari has been eliminated by the players of Stalwart Esports. Abrupt Slayers, they were looking so very good up against the players of T2K, but Stalwart Esports, the way that they're the third party, T2K is going to be so very happy, but their happiness is going to be short-lived, because look at the blue zone. Blue zone is going to take down the players of T2K. No, it was Bad Intention. Shoykot that eliminated Rig over there, and Bad Intentions, well, even the numbers are down to only 2 men, but they're trying to grab elimination points in this particular situation. They have made it into the top 10. So the consistency in terms of the placement points is definitely coming from the side of Bad Intentions. Stalwart Esports, 4 defeat points, only 2 players remaining. They have to transition themselves inside the circle as well, and have to deal with the players of Seal Esports as well. And looks like Seal Esports, they are going to take perfect shot onto Stalwart Esports and eliminate the entirety of them. But now Seal Esports, they are in the crosshairs of Bad Intention, but Shoykot was not prepared for the shots coming from the side of Elementrix Esports, and Elementrix is going to eliminate Bad Intention.
Well, that was such a clear opening right there for Bad Intentions player Shoykot to be able to bring down the players, the rotating players of Seal Esports. But sadly, all the spray that he did resulted in absolutely nothingness, which did allow all the 4 players of Seal Esports to be able to make that rotation. And now as they make their presence and entry into the zone, how exactly is Seal Esports going to be able to get this game? Because as far as the momentum is concerned, they're looking very, very good. With all 4 players surviving, 6 defeat points already confirmed for the side of Seal Esports. And along with all of that, the final 2 players of High Voltage, Assassin being the man, he's taking on shots against the players of Mabitex, as Mabitex are down to 2 players as well. Assassin and Prabeen, the 2-man army from High Voltage, they're still not yet done. They're not yet deterred in this game, in this fight. And they've got a perfect advantage right here, because they're on top of the mountain, which in turn allows them to take this fight head on against the players of Mabitex. If this nade is thrown to precise perfection, then that could be the end of Mabitex, and that's exactly what took place as TRZ get eliminated. Same is the case for Mabitex as well on the 6th position, with 6 eliminations confirmed for them. 5 total teams remaining. High Voltage, they're moving in like a high horse, and they definitely are getting those numbers up. 4 defeat points confirmed between these 2 players. And the game continues on 4th. But the numbers advantage is going to be in favor of CL Esports. Elementrix, perfect Gimli. What a perfect recovery that was right there, because he was able to scope out the players of high voltage making a rotation. And just like that, of course, Ravine has been dropped down. Assassin won't be able to do much, won't be able to give that revival as well. So tough luck being showcased right here to high voltage from the side of Elementrix. And Gimli is the man of the hour right now from Elementrix, because this team is also surviving with only a 2-man army. Assassin down to sliver of HP. The Blues taking a lot of damage away from him. And just like that, thanks to Gimli's position and approach, high voltage get eliminated on the 5th. That means only 4 teams remaining. Elementrix with just a 2-man squad. Leo Esports is still alive with the 1-man army. But look at the amount of eliminations that Elementrix have been able to accumulate. 10 defeat points confirmed for their side. DEADEYES, guys, they were sitting in the center for quite a long time, and now the 3-man squad is going to be jumping onto the final player of Leo Esports. But Leo Esports has something to do and something to say, as 2 of the players from the side of DEADEYES, guys, well, make that 3, have been eliminated. Incredible defeat being showcased right here to DEADEYES, guys, as it was a third-party approach from CL Esports that did not help them out. And Leo Esports, final player, also does get eliminated. Now the final 2 teams, Elementrix against the players of CL. The 2 high-fragging teams lock horns against each other, for one will walk away with a chicken dinner.
Well, certainly, Elementrix, 10 eliminations already in their hands. A duo of Gimli along with Orangey, the way they have been able to rain death and destruction in the map of Sanhok. This is so very impressive, but the majority of the real estate, the circle is in the favor of the players of CL Esports, and CL Esports know exactly where the players of Elementrix are. Yes, Elementrix, they are trying to lob some grenade to take down Arrow, and trades are coming back and forth from the grenades, and Becca has been taken down. On the other side, Orangey has been knocked down. Rog knows exactly this is the moment when they can push their luck and push towards the side of Elementrix, because they're down to only 1 man, and Gimli takes hefty damage. He has been eliminated, and with that, CL Esports, they get a winner chicken dinner for themselves in a fashionable style. Perfection coming in from the side of CL Esports, and they get a winner chicken dinner for themselves.
Winner chicken dinner in the bag, definitely for CL Esports. And again, I mean, the things are changing. That is exactly what we were talking about earlier as well. That CL Esports, they did not have a good start to week number 1, but now to make this all come back, it is going to be CL Esports stealing this wonderful victory for themselves with 21 total points. And welcome back once again, of course, right here at PMPL South Asia, where week 2, day number 1 continues on through. We're done with 3 games now, and only 2 more remain. And from that, what we've been able to gather is 4MV, IHC, not having a good day. Not entirely sure what's going wrong as well for them, but well, no matter how many different sorts of different strategies they try, it's all just going down the drain from their side. CL Esports, though, one Mongolian team definitely does showcase true signs of survival, and in this game, of course, they walked away with a chicken dinner with 21 total points. Previously, we saw them in the overall ranking sitting on the 20th position, but that is all bound to change with 21 points in the bank for CL Esports. And again, we're still left with 2 more games for the day.
Well, certainly 2 more games left for the day, and the way top teams of the previous week are falling down this particular week, this is looking so very good for the teams who were on the bottom, because this is the chance to redeem themselves in the overall ranking board. Because yes, they were not able to perform in the previous week, but the way CL Esports, Bad Intention, even the players of Elementrix, they are doing a comeback. They are creating a comeback story for themselves. This particular week is going to look entirely different in terms of the overall ranking, in terms of the leaderboards, because this time we are going to see a different set of teams. Yes, Stalwart Esports is looking so very consistent, but 4MV, my main concern is for 4MV. The day is almost over with only 1 game left for them, and they have not been able to perform even in a single game.
True, 4MV, 4 Miracle Vibes, something has gone very, very wrong for them. And for that, again, hopefully, there is only hope that we can remain with. And for that, I hope that final game that is left for 4MV, they're able to showcase a different side of their gameplay and game style. But that only, of course, time can answer, because right now we have no idea if at all that'll be allowed to them or not as well, because they've been brought down from teams like Bad Intentions I mean, 4MV took on fights against Bad Intention, and Bad Intention were the one who were able to, stand true and tall against 4MV. So a lot of things that we spoke about will be changed in week 2 is being showcased to have changed. With that, let's talk about the MVP, Erangel from Elementrix right here. 3 eliminations in total, 0 healing done, 781 total damage that he was able to dish out in the lobby, and a survival time with just a survival time of 20 minutes and 43 seconds. A perfect approach from Erangel right here from Elementrix Esports.
And 0 healings done, like you pointed out. That means you didn't take any damage. So Elementrix Esports, yes, in the previous week also, it's not like they have started doing a comeback on this particular week, on this particular day. No, the previous week only Elementrix, they started showcasing signs of a comeback story that they were trying to create for themselves. Even on the last day also, they got a chicken dinner for themselves in the map of Miramar. By getting this chicken dinner in the map of Sanhok, they're making a statement. Yes, they can be the kings of Miramar, they can be the kings of Sanhok as well in this particular week. So yes, Elementrix is looking good, but along with Erangel, it is Aero from the side of Seal Esports in the top players with 4 eliminations. Then we have Kurita from the side of Venom GE with 2 eliminations, but high damage, 743 damage that this guy was dishing out, and very low survival time. That means he didn't survive for very long, but he was definitely making a lot of nice noise in the map.
Indeed, he most certainly was. And as we look at Elementrix, Orange's teammate Enkus right here with 387 damage that he dished out. A perfect valiant effort from Elementrix, that's for sure. But of course, when it comes to the chicken dinner winner team, it is going to be, of course, Seal Esports, as we've got Aero with highest eliminations going in his favor. That is going to be 4 total. But that all could have changed had that perfect spray from Bad Intention been on point, as Seal Esports were making a rotation through the quarry region. But, well, that's how the cookie crumbled on the map of Sanhok. And as we push on ahead, now we've got 1 Miramar and 1 Erangel still remaining. But in all, a very good start to week 2 from quite a lot of these teams. A very synergistic start between quite a lot of these teams.
Well, certainly a very good start, especially from the side of Seal Esports, Elementrix Esports, but Maptex Esports. I have to talk about this team because statistically, Maptex Esports tend to perform really good in the map of Sanhok, but this time they were not able to perform. Valley, this is the second time that he was taken off guard all by himself, and the numbers were definitely not in the favor of Maptex Esports. But looking at the match ranking, Seal Esports, well, they are on the top with 21 points, Elementrix Esports on the second with 16 points, Leo Esports on the third with 9 points to their name, and Maptex Esports on the fourth position with a total of 8 points.
Indeed, and then comes in High Voltage with 7 points of their own. And interestingly enough, I mean, it's going down numerically 9, 8, 7, 6 all the way down to DEADEYES, guys. And then of course we start looking at teams that were not able to get any placement points whatsoever at all. That's Stalwart Esports, SITM, with 4 total eliminations that they were able to confirm for themselves. Moving on down all the way south towards Raw Official, sitting on the 16th position with only 1 elimination. Abrupt Slayers also sitting on that 15th position with 1 elimination. Same is the case for IHC Esports. It's all coming back to how it happened with them in week 1, because Raw Officials were the ones sitting pretty much at the 16th, at the 20th position week 1 as well. Abrupt Slayers were not looking too good in the overall ranking, so it's all coming back, but hopefully it won't stay this way for long.
Well, hopefully, but like you mentioned, Group B will be sitting out in this particular one. So that means Stalwart Esports, Abrupt Slayers, 4M TRZ, DEADEYES guys, they will be sitting on this particular one. So according to you, which team is going to get a winner chicken dinner? This is the time for the prediction. I'm asking you this question in advance. Which team do you think is going to perform really good in this particular one?
Well, when it comes to the map of Miramar, I would love to see what exactly is a team like 4MV going to be doing. 4 Miracle Vibes is where my pick is going to be when it comes to the map of Miramar. I would love to see them have at least one good game for today. But before we talk about that, let's also jump into the highlights from this Sanhok game, where we saw Seal Esports annihilate their competition 1 by 1. And just like that, it was definitely IHC also who were just, not able to confirm. And this is where we saw High Voltage jump into the zone, but sadly it was all taken away from them. This was a really good throw coming in from Praveen right there, but then as soon as they tried to get into the zone, it was Elementrix's 2 players who stopped High Voltage in their tracks. Praveen and Assassin were lost to the cause, and then all in all, it all was brought down once again to the players of Elementrix, with the 2 players that were surviving against the 4-man army of Seal Esports. It had to go in one favor, and that was of course Seal Esports walking away with the chicken dinner.
Well, certainly, this time the circle itself also gave a lot of trouble to so many teams. The teams who
True.
like dropping in towards the Camp Alpha Island or towards the northern side of the map, they had to go for a very long route towards the circle because it was a completely southern eastern circle. And in this particular one, yes, Elementrix, they were looking good. Seal Esports were looking good. Early rotation was the key. The teams who went for an early rotation, who had a good compound to their name, they did fairly good in this particular Sanhok. So yes, circle is the key. Circle was the main player in the Spurkle Sanhok that gave a lot of trouble to the teams.
Absolutely, it most certainly did, and that is something that we know when it comes to PUBG gods. That is how they love to, of course, trouble the players in the battleground. And now with that, let's talk about the schedule, where we know Group B is not going to be participating on the fourth game that will be played on the map of Miramar right now. So as we discussed earlier as well, Stalwart Esports, Abrupt Slayers, for Miracle TRZ, along with DEADEYES guys, are the teams that are not going to be playing the Group B. That means the other group are going to be participating in. And from my side, the prediction is going to be 4 Miracle Vibes better be able to deliver a massive gameplay right now and get a chicken dinner for themselves.
And from my side is going to be Elementrix. They missed it in this particular one, so I'm hoping they're going to showcase a good performance in the Miramar and get a winner chicken dinner for themselves in this one. So it's going to be Elementrix from my side.
Indeed, but all in all, it could very well go towards DRS or SKYLIGHTZ Gaming as well, is what I'm thinking, because of the way the rotations have been made from the side of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming and DRS have been looking very spot on, most certainly. No, alright, I'll stick with 4 Miracle Vibes for now, because it's going to be the final game. But most certainly, when it comes to the way the team has been playing today, 4 Miracle Vibes is not looking like the same team. It is looking like a very different team from what they were in week number 1. Maybe it's all about to change right now on this map of Miramar. We are going to find out, because the flight path is going to be on our screens in just a couple of seconds. And as soon as that is there, we can start predicting and anticipating where the fights are going to be drawn towards, where the first blood could be anticipated, as well as all the action that is going to take place between these 16 teams in the lobby.
Well, certainly. And talking about SKYLIGHTZ, I think one other team that can also fairly do really well in this Miramar is SATM, because of the rotations they showcased in the previous one also. SATM, they were looking very good. Yes, they were not able to get a chicken dinner, but still a good performance came from their side. So SATM also ought to perform good in this particular one. But talking about the plane path, it is going all the way from the southern island of Prison towards the side of Torre Emuda. And that means all the drop locations are easily accessible.
Indeed, it is pretty much dissecting the map in 2 equal halves, which is definitely the approach that you want to have from the flight path when you are part of the battleground. And most certainly on a map like Miramar. But this also then draws in a very inconclusive strat as to where the zone is going to be. Now, the zone is going to be the one that will, of course, create a very interesting rivalry. Not rivalry, sorry. It is most certainly going to be the one dictating where the fights are going to be. But nevertheless, as of yet, we've got no idea. Our producer would love to see an El Pozo zone, as he was talking about it earlier. Well, where do you want the zone to go towards, Shadow?
Oh, towards the side of Oasis. It's been such a long time that we haven't seen an Oasis circle or a Campo Miltar circle, because we have seen so many southern circles. We have seen Vela Gilma circle. We have seen Puerto circle. I would love to see a northern circle. And my prayers, Blotter, my prayers are never answered. Why do you even ask me? Every single time PUBG gods are like, no, we are not going to give you the circle which you want.
Oh, but well. This time around, it seems like they've gone and stuck themselves out towards the other side, where Minas Generalis is going to be pretty much the center, and that is where T2K are going to find their name. So, a very good start for T2K, most certainly, based on how the zone itself is dictating this fight. But all in all, of course, we are yet to see where the first blood is going to be drawn between teams. And there we have it. It seems like Bad Intentions once again are going to be in a lot of trouble of their own. But never mind that. No, never mind. It wasn't Bad Intentions. My apologies. It was Seal Esports against the players of Elementrix, as Elementrix take one knock to the face right there. Not the kind of start that, of course, Elementrix hoped for. As Seal Esports' Rogue is going to go rogue and just finish his opponent right there. Entry frag goes down, and if I'm not mistaken, Shadow, didn't you ask for this team to walk away with a chicken dinner?
I'm not jinxing teams. Just saying, I'm not jinxing. And I have a question. Can I change my prediction? I would love to go with T2K this time.
No.
Because look at the... Okay, okay. You are also denying my request and wishes. I'm used to it. But yeah, coming to the topic, yes, T2K, this circle, they do have a very good position. They are already in the epicenter. They can go for the best position inside the circle, grab the best prime spot, because T2K, yes, they're having a very consistent run, the way they're performing on this very day. So T2K ought to get one chicken dinner for themselves just because of the way they're performing. So yes, T2K can be the team that can get this one in their pockets.
Well, for now, let's see how exactly is Leo Esports going to be dominating against the rotating team of Seal Esports as they were caught out in the open. Now, Leo Esports, they themselves need to, of course, find a better spot rather than being out in the open like this. Now, as they make a rotation towards Hacienda itself, they've got a two-man split kind of play that they're making. And the two-man split seem to be working for now. And look at that, perfectly parking the vehicle in the garage. Honey, I'm home sort of an attitude. But we'll have to see if that attitude for Leo Esports is going to be able to rack up those numbers, those points for them. Because in week 1 also, it was day 1 that was the most important play that we saw from Leo Esports. As the week 1 continued, Leo Esports' performances went down a little. Deteriorated over time, basically. And in week 2 also, things are not looking too good for them as you move away from them towards high voltage. Now they're also in the vicinity as well. All we'll have to see is, can high voltage also get a decent outing in this game? IHC, Zeol and Alex. So many teams that we are moving from one to the other are playing a two-man split. Wonder if that's the best way to, of course, progress along in this game. Plus, when it comes to the map of Miramar, you know it is a very, very big map. So you automatically have to distance yourself from individual locations so as to get the best loot possible. And that is perhaps the main reason why we are looking at so many of these teams playing with a two-man split. With that though, IHC, I mean, the performance from this team, especially Godless for that matter, in PMPL South Asia this season, spring season, is... It needs a revival, basically. Because there are some good performances, some good moments that IHC have showcased till now in week 1. But apart from that, it hasn't really been too consistent. Their performance itself hasn't really been consistent. For 4 Miracle Wives, a team that walked away with 258 or something like that points in week 1, being at the top of the totem pole, in week 2, have not yet been able to do much in the 3 games that they've played. This is going to be their 4th and final game. Because Group A will not be participating in the final game that will be played on Erangel.
Well, certainly, but more than IHC, I think 4MB needs a revival in the gameplay because they are completely missing, and this is something not expected from a team of that particular caliber. But I'm so very happy because of I8. Yes, I kept asking entire week 1, where is the I8 and where is the I8? Well, they have showcased good performance in the previous Miramar. They got a chicken dinner for themselves. I ate. Well, I'm so very happy that they're finally woken up from their sleep and they're finding their feet also, and they're looking so very good in this particular day. And let's hope this carry forwards to the remaining days also for the plus of I8, because last when I saw I8, they were the aggressive force in the lobby. Every single time they were dominating. They were so aggressive in terms of placement points, in terms of elimination points. They were getting everything on point. But a team that is yet to spread their wings today is SKYLIGHTZ Gaming as well. When it comes to Miramar, again, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, point perfect rotations come in every single time. Good rotations, but it's the numbers that are not favoring SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, because during the rotations they tend to lose few of their players, because of which SKYLIGHTZ Gaming in the final circles they are left with only 1-man or 2-man army, and that is never enough to get you a winner chicken dinner. So that is something SKYLIGHTZ Gaming need to work on to keep their numbers alive till the very last stage of the game.
Absolutely, but we'll have to see if that'll be allowed to SG or not. For now, we've got SITM0 climbing up the mountains, trying to get as much information on his opponents. As of yet, we've only seen that one first blood. That was, of course, Elementrix's player dropping down. thanks to, of course, SKYLIGHTZ Esports. But apart from that, it has been a very quiet lobby thus far. But another 30 seconds or so, stage 1 is going to be coming to an end, which would imply that the zone is going to be constricting or changing itself, which in turn is where the teams are going to be drawing closer to each other, and so will the fights begin. But for now, it is a stalemate situation for a lot of these teams, as a majority of them have not really been able to even scope out each other. They're all very, very busy getting the loot set up for themselves. On our screens, of course, we do have Venom DE's players. Quite a lot of throwables that these players love to use as well. And SITM. They're almost about 800 meters away from the zone. But with that, when it comes to the loot, they're looking very, very pristine. High number of loot that they've been able to accumulate, as they are finding themselves in Lost Leonis, and right above, the zone is going to be moving away. Now, the rotation that needs to be made from the side of 4MV, let's see where exactly are they going to be planning to enter, because we've got almost 4 teams that are down south of the zone, excluding 4MV. Including 4MV would be 5. So, a very busy southern side of the zone this time around. Whereas from north, once again, look at that color of yellow, where SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, of course, make those rotations perfectly and find themselves in a really good spot. But as of yet, T2K, again, as soon as this zone was drawn, T2K were in the center, and right next to them right now is going to be DRS as well. Both these teams are looking very immaculate in terms of their positioning. But they need to be able to convert that positioning into, of course, points, into finishing points, and of course, along with that, if you walk away with a chicken dinner, even better.
Well, certainly, even look at the position of Maptex Esports and Bad Intention. They are also looking good. As long as Bad Intention keep themselves to the periphery of the circle on the eastern front, I think they are going to be rewarded by next circle. If not next circle, at least good position in this particular one. Yes, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, they are looking so very confident. And look how they are having a read onto the opponents. They know from where to exactly enter inside the circle, the way they scout the area. They are not even crossing paths with the players of SEAL Esports, but SEAL Esports Sanchar, well, he has found NBES Mondo out there, and Mondo has been eliminated from the lobby. So that means NB Esports, they are down to only 2 men. SEAL Esports, 3 elimination highest. The only 3 players that have been eliminated from the lobby are by the players of SEAL Esports, and looks like Woofis went a little aggressive. Yes, he did manage to find 1 knock onto Kurita, but he was also traded out in this particular situation. So now Domi with a grenade is looking for a confirmation, or 1 more knock onto the plus of I8, but he's not going to lob the perfect projectile. So that means Nova is still surviving, and in a close frontal battle, Domi is going to lose, and Nova with the UMP 45 is going to take him down as his gun goes for a reload. He needs to reposition himself. He needs the backup as soon as possible. Otherwise, he's a dead man, and looks like Nova has been taken down. Away, Venom DE retaliating in this particular one. Trades are coming, but not in their favor. Only 1 man standing from this from their side, and it is going to be Relay.
Indeed, Relay is the only player surviving as of now, but for how long though? He's reached across the entire compound to help out his teammate, but it seems like this nade could very well be the end of Venom DE as Sky25 pushes on with the UMP in his hand, and he will be able to deliver the massive punch, and just like that, Illuminate Crew will eliminate the possibility of Venom DE walking away with decent amount of points from this game. Only 2 elimination points is what the Venom DE got, and that of course were the 2 players of Illuminate Crew. Viper and Sky, the only 2 players surviving. Novax and Woofers have been lost to the cause, but that's absolutely fine, because they will survive to fight another fight right now, as they are yet to make this rotation. They're almost about 950 meters away. A long, long way that Illuminate Crew need to be able to cover right here. Not entirely sure what are they waiting for. As you can see in the top right hand side, the minimap is showcasing that the teammate has already gotten into a vehicle and is running to get into the zone. So again, a 2-man army and a split approach being showcased from the side of that team. Illuminate True. We'll see where exactly do they fare at the end of this. But on our screens, we've got high voltage. All 4 players in individual vehicles, and alongside that, we've got IHC taking on shots against the players of NB Esports, as NB Esports get eliminated on the 15th position with 0 elimination points to their fame. T2K Jane also taking shots against SITM. SITM down to just a 1-man army as of now, if they're not able to get that revival. We'll come back to that if that'll be possible or not. No, it will not. There we have it. A confirmation has been drawn. As QB goes down, SITM down to just a one-man army. Tough luck situation for them. Let's see. I mean, for now, the Mongolian teams are the only ones who are looking very, very good. With CD Esports, all 4 players surviving, 3 defeat points. IHC, with all 4 players still surviving, 2 defeat points. And then comes in 4 Metrical Vibes with 1 defeat point of their own.
Over process of the plus of raw officials, the vehicle is taking a lot of damage. Can raw officials pick the plus of 4 MV from the moving vehicle? That's the main question, as the blue is also catching up, and raw officials also need to make those crucial rotations, otherwise 4 MV will be ready to gatekeep them, and that is something raw officials definitely don't want in the situation. But IHC Zoil finds a knock onto Rogue of Seed Esports, and looks like IHC, you wanted them to do a comeback, and looks like they are already doing a comeback, but right now raw officials, Kancha is getting shots from somewhere else, and he needs to be a bit careful, because we know for sure the vehicles in Miramar don't have too much HP, and vehicle explosions can happen so very easily. But right now Yeta Uta from Raw takes down Shoykot from the side of Bad Intention, and Bad Intention only down to 2 men. This is very necessary to go for the crucial revival, but that's not gonna happen, as Mendy went for it and he has been eliminated from the lobby, and now looks like Bad Intention are down to only 2 men and only single person in this very compound.
Indeed, is Sifrim, and of course, along with that, his teammate. Sim and his teammate are the only 2 players surviving, and they have decided to actually fall back from this entire compound itself, which is definitely a good decision for Bad Intentions. But for raw officials, again, a line is being drawn right now for raw officials, which is not looking good for them. In week 1 also, it was not looking too good for the side of raw officials. In week 2, they had a perfect start to this day 1. But right now, again, the numbers kind of dwindling down from their side. Just a 2-man army is what they're left with. It is going to be tough luck for them to convert more points. But we'll see where exactly will they sit at the end of this game. For now, same is the case for Bad Intentions as well, because they've got 0 defeat points and are down to a 2-man army. And if we see the mini-map, they are surrounded by so many different teams around them. From one side, it's Illuminate on the back end. Right now, they just ran away from, of course, raw officials. Right next to them, a rotating team has also made their presence felt. So tough position that Bad Intentions are in.
Well, definitely not a good position for the players of Bad Intention, but even for the players of raw officials, they need to be a bit careful, because there is a possibility of a third party happening in the situation. Yes, Alpha is alive. He's trying to have an off angle onto the players of 4MV. 4MV is also joining this fray, and 4MV being the king of the hills, they do have an advantage point in this particular fight. So 4MV are looking good, but they have to make sure that this day is not going so very good for them, so they have to be very careful. Yes, they have managed to get 3 defeat points. All 3 belongs to East, the MVP from the side of 4MV, always the MVP, but still they need to be a bit careful, because I8 is also making the rotations, and the split that is coming from the side of 4MV, it might not work in their favor, as look at the position of Refuse. He's so very close to the plus of Bad Intention and raw officials, but T2K Jane finds a perfect knock onto I8 Sky and instantly gets the confirmation. So that means I8, well, they have been down to only 1 man.
Well, with this now, a 2-man army of raw officials are going to be making a rotation as well. For 4MV, they've got troubles just starting for them, because they've got a very big, huge split that we can see on the minimap as well. Not sure if it's the best decision or not, but thankfully they all do have their individual vehicles, so they can very well regroup. And that's exactly what East was trying to do over there. But as soon as he saw in the feed a car has been blown, that means he's going to go in and try and get that finish point for himself and his teammates as well. For now, East is the only man who's been able to get those defeat points for... Oh, what a drift that was. What a stop that was. Coming in from his side. I mean, look at the awareness that he's showcasing right here. Because he was about to fall back. He was about to move away from this entire area till the time the vehicle blew up. As soon as the vehicle blew up, he turned around, went back again, and that in turn has resulted in him getting 4 defeat points. Make that actually 5, as raw officials get eliminated right now. And all the 5 points that are sitting here in the favor of the 4MV are all thanks to this lad, East.
Well, certainly East is doing so much for the team. 5 defeat points entirely from this single individual, and the amount of damage that he's dishing out is also phenomenal, but he needs to be a bit careful. At the same time, bad intention. Look at the position. The grenades that are coming from the side of Refuse are going to be so deadly for bad intention if he locks it to the perfection, but looks like the play zone is going to come into the picture, and bad intentions decide to go by the play zone, and they have been eliminated at the 12th spot. Now Leo Liquid is also picking up the players of Elementrix as Astra has been knocked down. Let's see if we can get the confirmation. Even Elementrix need to be a bit careful of the players of 4MV. They are right now in a sandwich situation. Leo is already picking. 4MV is also keeping a close eye onto them, but 4MV needs to be a bit careful from the players of SATM, because look at the position of Jiro. Yes, he's all by himself, but he can certainly gatekeep the players of 4MV and try to take down, if not more, at least one player from the side of 4MV.
Indeed, but look at this. I mean, T2K, perfect positioning that they find themselves in the zone. Towards the northern side, we've got Mabitex, we've got SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, we've got DRS. So trouble brewing on the north of the zone as well. Or never mind that, it seems like it is going to be dissipating, as Mabitex have actually walked into the zone and now probably are going to be in the crosshairs of T2K, as we do have Kese going down from Mabitex as well, as he tried to make a rotation. It seems it was T2K or DRS. No, it was T2K and DRS combined together against Mabitex rotating team that have been dropped down. And right now, of course, they are down to a two-man army, as well as Leo OP and Wally are the only two players surviving from the side of Mabitex. With the Scar in his hand, Leo OP tries to push on to Rig from the side of T2K. His vehicle will be blown, and that in turn will probably provide at least one defeat point confirmation to Leo OP as of now. His teammate has also been dropped down, Wally. So tough situation for Mabitex Leo, as he's the only man who's going to have to, of course, deal with all of this by himself. First things first, he decides to go in to get the cover, get into the cover, and of course provide that revival to his teammates. Same will be the case for Rig, as Jane has jumped in right behind the vehicle. This time around, of course, the vehicle is blown as well, so not a lot to worry about for them. But all of this commotion, I am expecting a third party that could be dropped in.
And this is the moment producer should allow me to change my prediction, as I requested at the start of the game, to change it to T2K. But it looks like that's not gonna happen at all, because look at the position of T2K, the start of the game. I said this is T2K's game, but never mind. IHC are going up against the players of SEAL Esports, and look like IHC is not having a good time, and this demo is in close frontal battle. And SITM, well, they have been eliminated at the 11th position with good defeat points, good elimination points in their favor. Even IHC are not looking so very good. Demo needs to patch himself up, and his teammate Zoil is still bleeding, and Zoil is in close proximity to Sanchar. At the same time, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming as well, but Sanchar has his own troubles as he's dealing with the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. He did manage to take one knock onto the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, and that was no fear. But now his entire focus is onto Demo, who is trying to make a quick escape from this situation.
Well, Sanchir all by his lonesome. How much is he going to be able to do right here? As of yet, he's got 3 defeat points confirmed. 5 defeat points total for the side of SEAL Esports, but he's just a one-man army. Of course, it's not just him. You look on to the right-hand side where we've got the teams. IHC is also down to just a one-man squad. Elementrix getting eliminated with 0 players remaining, of course, in the lobby. So we're now left with just 9 teams, 28 players in total. Up on top of that mountain, T2K has a really good positioning inside this small little compound. Mabitex's 2 players will hold up, but for how long? That is something we'll have to see. They made a rotation with all 4 players, but of course was sprayed on upon from 2 individual teams, thus losing out on 2 of their players. But T2K themselves, look at that, the split that they've got. T2K Jane is down, and there is no way any of his teammates can help him to give him that revival, because he's so far away. Same is the case with Rig as well. So Sandesh and Suyog are the 2 lads who are up on top of that mountain, giving away a lot of information. But look at this, the team in purple, 4MV from the east, as they try and make an entry into the zone. They're going to have trouble. That's definitely going to be T2K.
Well, T2K, a lot of T2K, if they don't get a winner chicken dinner in this particular one, Blotter, I'm telling you, our producer is to be blamed, because he didn't allow me to change my prediction. I'm blaming my producer if T2K doesn't get this one. But right now, A+B+C+D Esports, look at the compound. Yes, they don't have the numbers, but they do have a good position, and look like SKYLIGHTZ Gaming are trying to invade in the compound. Well, let's find out if A+B+C can defend it. But right now, DRS Delta finds a perfect knock onto the plus of 4MV, and looks like Refuse has been taken down. down. Trades are coming for the plus of DRS as well. And for MV also, one player down on their knees. Demo before bidding bye-bye takes on Sunchir, and looks like Sahil Esports have been eliminated. And now we are down to only 7 teams and 24 players remaining. And INC has also been eliminated at 8th position with good defeat points.
Indeed, I mean, ISC were also left with just a one-man squad, so not a lot that he could have done. But with that, Sunday should have been able to... Well, never mind. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming's AJ was so on point right there. But it seems T2K, they are divided. They are divided between two individual teams that they want to be able to bring down. 4MV, we saw, were trying to make an entry. 4MV have been dropped down to a 3-man army as well. So, trouble brewing, and it's all thanks to T2K. So many teams right now trying to make an entry into the zone, trying to make their presence felt, but it is going to be 4MV against DRS, as DRS have lost out on one of their players. Rules is down. Of course, he does have his teammates right around the corner to be able to give him a revival, but this could be the opening that 4MV were waiting for, and that in turn has resulted in them pushing on ahead. Of course, on top of their heads, T2K is not going to be able to do much in this area, in this counter area of the mountain. It is just DRS going up against 4MV. The nade parades have started from the side of KILLERYT from DRS as well. But look at East going up on top, trying to get as much information as he can. And just like that, with a perfect spray, he's going to be able to bring down and mow down the players of KILLERYT as DRS lose out on their players, lose out on their numbers. Just to one player remaining. That's going to be Delta. And he also ain't going to be surviving for long. That means DRS Gaming get eliminated right here on the 7th position with 4 defeat points to their name. 10 defeat points already confirmed for 4MV. A 3-man army. Doc, a very important lad from the side of 4MV, has been dropped dead. But that's okay. Even with a 3-man squad, 4MV are looking like they are ready to make a change in that storyboard, in that overall ranking board. But will the 3-man army from 4MV be enough? Because we still do have Leo Esports with all 4 players surviving. And with that, T2K Sandesh, finally, this angle that SKYLIGHTZ Gaming AJ had on him has finally been utilized to perfection. But not for long though, because after all, when it comes to the positioning that T2K Sandesh is in, he's got his teammate right around to be able to give him that revival as well. And that's exactly what's taking place up on top of that mountain.
Well, certainly, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming are doing a lot of damage towards the side of T2K. But look at the circle. The circle is entirely in the favor of the players of T2K Esports. And now SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, they are a bit away from the circle, 85 meters to be specific. And they have already poked the bears. They have the height advantage, T2K. On the other side, we have the players of 4MV also trying to inch closer towards the players of T2K Esports right now. So if both the teams strike at T2K at the same time, this is where T2K needs to be a bit careful to individually pick the fight and be careful of the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, because they are trying to defy the gravity from the backlines. Maplex Esports Valley with its car and spray takes down not just one, 2 players of SKYLIGHTZ Esports, and looks like he has been taken down by East of 4MV. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming has been eliminated. Well, kudos to Maplex Esports player, the way he did a third party in the situation, and T2K Esports, they capitalized. Now SKYLIGHTZ Gaming have been eliminated. 4MV, they got 1 defeat point onto the plus of Maplex Esports, but now T2K Esports, they have a close eye onto the plus of High Voltage as well. So High Voltage on the lower ground are not looking good at all. Leo Esports being so very silent and trying to play with the circle, have the control of the circle, and it is working in their favor because they have all the 4 players alive.
Look at Refuse from 4MV. He's climbed up the mountain all by his lonesome as well to try and stop T2K in their tracks. He's cooking up a nade. He's got a level 3 kit that has already been blown down to smithereens. And the nade parade that he's showcasing has dropped down the health of T2K's players by quite a lump sum. Sandesh and Suyog not looking too good. And this is where things are going to change, because we had the players of T2K already, and that was none other than Sandesh, who was able to bring down another player of 4MV. So Refuse drops down dead. East and Apex are the only 2 players reviving right now. They are going to have to, one way or the other, make an opening right here on this mountain. That is the only way they can take on the glorious chicken dinner for themselves. But again, the numbers have dwindled down to just a 2-man squad for the side of 4MV. So tough luck is in affair for the side of this team. Leo Esports were a 4-man army strong, but sadly, they also have taken on individual fights, it seems like. And getting a revival for them, it seems, was very, very difficult, as now they've got a 3-man squad from their side. Though in all of this, High Voltage, numbers favoring them, but they don't have an opening. How exactly are they to convert this into a chicken dinner for themselves? Right above them on top, we saw T2K were keeping a very close, keen eye towards this exact same side where High Voltage are in. Even if they try and come towards the other way, then it's Leo Esports that they'll have to deal with. So, troubled affair for these teams. But T2K, can they nail this into a chicken dinner for themselves? 4MV East has somehow spotted Maptex's Leo, as Wally and Leo are a little scattered as well. So survival is going to be elemental right here for Wally. But his position has been compromised, sadly. As T2K's Reg, Suyog, Sandesh, they're all prepped and ready to take down and mow down the players of Maptex as well as High Voltage.
Well, look at the position of Seoul. High Voltage, they're definitely trying to close in the distance between the players of T2K Esports with those vehicles, but the grenades that are coming from the side of Seoul can be the reason for the demise of two players, but he's not lobbing it to the perfection. High Voltage still surviving, but Rig with a perfect grenade takes down Probeen from the side of High Voltage, manages to take down one player and do some damage to the players of High Voltage who are trying to stop the players of T2K, and smokes are being lobbed to get the revival, but Rig is still looking for the confirmation. Multiple throwables, grenades, molotovs, everything is being lobbed, and Jiggle also gets taken down, and High Voltage Malik is the only man standing who is going for the rescue mission onto Assassin over there, but sooner or later he will be in the crosshairs of the players of T2K Esports, and Rig is unstoppable. The molotov is going towards the side of Malik and Assassin. Look at the amount of smoke that has been deployed by the players of High Voltage to deny vision to the players of T2K Esports, but the smoke is not helping them at all as their numbers have been reduced to only 2 men. The grenades are doing a lot of damage. Malik has been reduced to only 20 HP. The second follow-up grenade also comes from the side of Rig, and they've utilized almost all the throwables and utilities in the fight against our players of High Voltage.
Indeed, they have, and that in turn has resulted in High Voltage down to just a two-man army. Make that one, because Assassin is going to be the one who will be able to enter this area, or perhaps not, because Rig jumps on down with a UMP in his hand. He's going to be eliminating the possibility of High Voltage to climb or even step onto this mountain, that's for sure. And that in turn has resulted in Mabitex all in the background also getting eliminated, which now means there are only these 3 teams remaining. 4MV against the players of T2K. And then there's one final lad from Leo Esports, that's going to be Liquid. Apex and East slowly try and huddle up together to try and take on these shots and understand where exactly the 3-man army of T2K are at. How exactly are they scattered? For now, the nade parades ain't going to be doing much. But Leo Esports is Liquid. He can be the X factor in this fight, because he can bring himself known and his presence felt against T2K, and the numbers that T2K are in advance of right now could very well shatter if Leo Esports' Liquid is careful enough to bring down the numbers. But look at this, I mean, Reg with 7 eliminations of his own, so Yog with 2. This is where Apex, of course, is going to be jumping and pouncing on upon, but just a sliver of HP on Reg will be able to drop down as Suyo goes down, Rig goes down, and now it's all falling down to the final player of T2K. That's going to be Sandesh, and Sandesh jumps from the main to take on the shots and bring down the players of 4 Medical Vibes. 13 elimination points is what 4MV have been eliminated to. But Sandesh, he knows that he's given away quite an important position right there on top of that mountain, which now is in favor of Leo Esports' Liquid. Leo Esports' Liquid is looking very good. He could be the one who could steal this game away from T2K, because it is a 1v1 situation, and Sandesh, he jumped down to his demise probably from here, because of course it is Liquid from Leo who will have a better angle right here as he's on top of the mountain. He knows exactly where to, of course, put his crosshairs. And Sandesh, look at this. He's going to be jumping down, but it seems like, yes, he will take the game with the chicken dinner in the bag. This is an incredible journey right here from Leo Esports, as Liquid, the final one man, has resulted in stealing that chicken dinner away from Sandesh. That was just ludicrous. Had Sandesh not dropped down, of course, there was no reason for the game to go in Leo Esports' Liquid side. But hey, that's how the cookie crumble right here on Miramar. Incredible feat, Leo Esports.
And definitely Leo Esports getting a winner chicken dinner with 4 elimination and 1194 damage in the overall ranking. Now they're sitting on the 5th spot.
All right, well, here we are back again with 4 games done for the day. This is just a crazy start to week 2. Did not anticipate this sort of a play being showcased right here, and especially on the in the previous game, the way Liquid was able to steal that chicken dinner, that was just bonkers, unexpected. But Sunday should not have given away his position. But if he would not have, you know what? I mean, even if he jumped down, he was not able to keep any of his teammates alive.
Yeah.
So actually, the question is that, had he not jumped down, it could have been their game. It could have been their chicken dinner. But he gave away such a important position right there. And then Leo Esports is Liquid. He just pounced on upon the opportunity and stole it with only 4 eliminations, total 4 eliminations from the entirety of the team. Leo Esports walk away with a chicken dinner.
I told you in the start, if you are not allowing me to change my prediction, you are jinxing the gameplay of T2K, and that is exactly what happened. T2K,
well.
Our producer is to be blamed and blotted, not me.
Well, GG's again. I mean, when it comes to 4MV, they were so close. They almost got me to my 4th prediction as well. But then they started losing out on players. But you have to admit, T2K, the way they were able to read the lobby, the way they were able to position themselves on that mountain, that was so spectacular. That is the reason why, of course, this game should have been theirs. And I'm sure when it comes to the points itself, they are going to be walking away with decent chunk of points. Same can be said for 4MV as well. Let's have a look at the MVP though, the most valuable player. Who is it going to be right here from this game? It is going to be East. 11 eliminations, dude. What exactly is going on right here? 11 eliminations, 1,925 damage. Of course, 10 knocks and 2 assists is what East was able to accumulate right here in the 21 plus minutes that he was a part of on Miramar.
Certainly, for MV, they were having a very good run in this very Miramar. Definitely, the aggression they were bringing could have resulted in the chicken dinner, but the position was not in their favor. At the same time, Leo Esports, the way they held their patience, the way they held their position, calm, composed till the very last few moments of the game, and that is where they started striking and got the perfect winner chicken dinner by grabbing the height advantage as well. But looking at the top players, along with East, we have Rick from the side of T2K Esports with 8 eliminations. T2K Esports Sandesh with 4 elimination. Then we have Sanchar from the side of Seed Esports who survived for a very long time. 3 eliminations, 820 damage. But look at the amount of damage number for the players of T2K Esports.
Indeed, and that is what, of course, they were able to do and accumulate thanks to the positioning that they had. But moving away from that summary towards this one on our screens, we've got, of course, highest elimination going in favor of East, highest damage going in his favor. Highest assist, though, goes in Suyog's favor from T2K. He was the back end of T2K's positioning right there, where we saw Sandesh and Reg dominating, and then, of course, his the teammate providing that cover. But right now, we've got T2K Esports, of course, sitting with 16 total eliminations, 22 points, even though they did not get a chicken dinner. They did accumulate quite a big chunk and lump sum amount of points right here. And 3 point shy is going to be 4MV right here, sitting with 19 points, 14 eliminations to their name. I mean, you combine both these teams' eliminations, I mean, half the lobby was eliminated from them because 30 players were eliminated in total from 4MV and T2K.
So certainly for MV and T2K, they were the top performers of the Miramar, but NB Esports this time they were not able to shine at all, sitting on the 16th position, taken out pretty early in the game. 0 points, bad intention. After showcasing good performance, again a bad game coming from their side. 0 points to their name, sitting on the bottom. Then, but one team that is also impressing me along with bad intention is Venom DE. The way this team is also performing today is also remarkable. To be from the previous week, because previous week Venom DE they had a decent run, not too shiny performance, not so aggressive, but this week they are showing the signs of aggression. The way they are picking the individual fights, they are almost winning them.
Indeed, and that is something that Venom DE had started showcasing to us in previous week, day number 3 onwards itself. But right now, let's move on and take a look at the overall ranking. With 4 games done, T2K are done and dusted right now for today, because the teams that are sitting on number 3 matches played, they are the ones who are going to be playing the final game. So T2K with 46 points, a decent amount of lead that they've created, are sitting on top without a chicken dinner. On the second is Leo Esports with a chicken dinner, of course, and they've still got one more game that is remaining for them. For bad intentions, things are very, very bad indeed still in week 2, as they've played all 4 games and only accumulated 7 points in total. So tough luck still continues for Bad Intentions.
Well, certainly, even for the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, they're sitting on the 17th spot. Yes, they do have one more game in their hand, but still, this is not the position where we want SKYLIGHTZ Gaming to be in. Especially after showcasing such good rotations, every single time SKYLIGHTZ Gaming has been able to showcase good rotations. They just need to survive a bit longer with all the 4 players alive. Then I think SKYLIGHTZ Gaming is good to go. So this is definitely not the position where SKYLIGHTZ deserve to be right now.
Absolutely, and that is something that that I'm sure will change, as we've got one final game remaining that will be played on the map of Erangel itself. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming is going to be part of it. So hopefully in the final game they're able to get decent amount of points for themselves. But it's the easier said than done, of course, when it comes to the way the battleground is changing, the way the strategies are changing, the way the rotations are changing, the way the drop contestations themselves have changed. It actually just opens the entire thing up as to where exactly or what team should be the one walking away with a chicken dinner this time around. And now we jump on to the final game of the day. That is going to be Erangel. Till now, we've got 0 teams that have gotten 2 chicken dinners. Do you think, Shadow, this final game, we could have a team get a chicken dinner, a second chicken dinner this time around?
Oh, I would love to see it. If any of these teams can get 2 chicken dinners for themselves on the very first day of week number 2, but that seems highly unlikely, or maybe that's possible. Leo Esports can do it, so my prediction also goes for Leo Esports.
Alright, Leo Esports is going to be your pick for the final game, and from our side, I would love to see a team like DRS, or actually STE, Stalwart Esports. I would love to see them bring in close and bring it back in home. And let's see if they can get this game for themselves and get a chicken dinner for themselves or not. It is going to be tough, that's for sure. But it is the map of Erangel. And we know that when it comes to the positioning and the drops, they're all pretty much scattered across the entirety of the map. All the teams, all the entire lobby is. So there isn't much to talk about over there. There isn't any team that will try and even, I don't think at least right now in week 2, will try and go on to somebody else's drop contestation. That could happen in week 3 though. But never mind, in just a couple of seconds, the flight path is going to be on our screens, and there we have it. Starting all the way from north this time around. We've got the flight path. Of course, right down there is Giorgio. And there we can see it's going all the way east towards Prison and Miltapava.
Well, certainly, the flight path is favoring the northern islands, and the teams like 4MV, who likes dropping towards the southern islands, Stalwart Esports, they are ahead of for a big journey. And at the same time, I have a gut feeling that this game can also belong to the plus of 4MV. Because 4MV last time they were so close to getting it in terms of the aggression that they were bringing in. They were on the top in their match ranking. So 4MV definitely can be a contender to get a winner chicken dinner for themselves in this particular one. But that also comes down to where the first circle is going to be. But talking about the place of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, this time they are heading towards the side of Sigourney, because T2K, well, they are sitting out. So Sigourney is going to be unoccupied. So SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, a change in drop location coming from their side. DEADEYE, Venom, I think. Okay, it just actually is DEADEYES, guys. They are also somewhere towards the southern side of Sigourney in a split position in Yasna, or maybe towards the Stalwart area. SA time will be headed. So interesting drop locations are coming in from all these teams. IHC, well, they have found residency in the Georgiapol City area. One of the player is towards the containers also, but he needs to be a bit careful. Especially Zoil needs to be a bit careful of the plus of Seal Esports, and looks like the first blood is already being drawn, as Zoil, I believe, has taken few shots against the plus of Seal Esports, and from the side of Seal, Arrow has been taken down. But talking about the very first circle, we have an eastern circle. It could be a Yasna circle, and if that happens, SATM, they are going to be very happy. But right now, TRZ and SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, they are in the same vicinity, same close proximity to each other in the city of Sigourney, and Leo, Mr. Smokey, finds a perfect knock onto Elementrix with a vehicle run over, and Liquid gets the confirmation also.
Well, this is touching it a bit too close right now, because of course SKYLIGHTZ Gaming player was so very next to TRZ's degree. And a DBS in his hand, he's ready and equipped and well prepped right now to, of course, overcome any damage that could be brought on. Oh, that jerry can If by mistake that DBS ends up shooting at the jerry can, that could be the end. But what a perfect knock, 1 by 1. Token, just like that. Degree has been able to not knock but eliminate the possibility of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming getting a decent game out of this and a decent outing out of it, where 2 of the players have been eliminated right off the bat, all by himself. And no fear in Nima. Well, you better, sir, start fearing the side of 4MV, because this team is looking like dominating right now the way that they've started. And again, that DBS meta, I'm loving it. It wasn't the meta, or rather was not in the meta for quite some time, but now the way the change has been brought in is looking absolutely immaculate. But with that, we've got IHC, another 2 Mongolian teams locking horns. It is always going to be IHC and CD Sports. We've spoken about this time and time again, and this time around they do find themselves against each other. And a perfect nade coming in from Alex will be bringing this fight down to a 1v1, where Sancher's health is not looking too much, and just like that, I believe Zeol's destruction is going to be all that he needed. But no, Alex has been dropped down, and just like that, sadly, numbers not favoring the players of CD Sports. The fight has gone in favor of IHC for now. CD Sports are also down to a 2-man army. IHC, first things first, they need to get a revival right now on their teammate. But CD Sports, not the kind of start that they anticipated.
Well, certainly only down to 2 players, Rog and Becca, and Rog with that M416 and a 4-time scope is trying to pepper a few bullets and try and damage the vehicles of the players of IHC Esports, because if IHC makes a quick escape, there is no chance that Steel can do some damage towards the players of IHC. Well, looks like Steel Esports, well, they have to survive, because 2v4 fights, especially when the players are out there in the open, is not something I will recommend. And I think Steel Esports do realize, so that's why they have backed off from that particular fight. Even the players of IHC are also not over committing. They are happy with 2 defeat points, and the rotations are already coming in, because look at the amount of resources they are having in their hands. No health kit, few of the players are not even having the proper armor. So IHC, they need the secondary loot, but in the school area and the apartments, the entire control is of the players of high voltage. But somewhere else in Severny, we have the players of TRZ going up against the players of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, and it looks like Nima has been knocked down by grenades. So SKYLIGHTZ are not looking good at all. This change of drop location because of T2K not in the game is not helping the case of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, and Nima has been eliminated. Now SKYLIGHTZ Gaming down to only 1 man. It's a 1v3 situation. No fear is definitely in a lot of fear at this point, and his HP is also not helping him out. No armor, nothing at all, and he has been eliminated. SKYLIGHTZ Gaming becomes the first team to bid bye-bye with 0 elimination point. On the other side, TRZ with a good head start, 4 defeat points already in their favor without any casualties. The entire city of Severny is up for them. Even the area of shooting range is up for them. They can have the secondary loot, have good resources for the later stage in the game, because the elimination points are already in their favor.
Indeed, they are. With 4... Oh, well, the entirety of SKYLIGHTZ Gaming basically was dropped down to nothingness. All thanks to the DBS that was in control of Degree. That momentous tock and boom was showcased right there from Degree. Just opened up, and I'm sure elated the players of TRZ, which in turn, of course, gave them the momentous boost that was required to be able to hunt down the final 2 players from SKYLIGHTZ Gaming. But with that fight done and dusted, now we move on towards Milta, where DRS Gaming is going to be moving along. For now, they seem to be all alone. Interesting how this entire region and not the region, I mean, but this area in the game changes in such heated lobbies, because many a times when you play the game, you know that Pachinki definitely is going to have at least 2 to 3 teams for sure. But with these teams, there's such high caliber teams, they already have everything figured out. For example, Stalwart Esports, they always go down south on that military base towards Novo, and no team wants to contest that, which is something that, of course, these teams have worked towards, have grinded for, and shown to not only this region but the entire world that if we are playing in your lobby, well, you better not be around in Novo. Nevertheless, though, as of yet, we've only seen that one fight. Apart from that, all the other teams are still playing it safe. Raw Officials, one of those names. who are most certainly playing it safe with a Thompson in his hand and an AKM. This is looking like Kant also is well equipped and prepped right here near the shelter region. But where are the teams at? It seems like it is going to take at least stage 2 before we can have these teams, lock horns against each other and start bringing in some momentous fights. Because for now, they're all segregated. And look at that, TRZ from up north. Nothing to worry about for them. SITM at Yasnaya, all by their lonesome. Again, nothing for them to worry about as well. Down south from Milta, we've got DRS making a rotation as well. Huge area that's still available and open. But where exactly is the zone going to be forcing itself this time around? Is it going to be constricting onto itself? Is it going to make a curveball northern shift? If it does, TRZ is looking very much in control over there. But for now, a late rotation being showcased from Elementrix as well.
Well, certainly, and even the circle is going to shift heavily towards the southern side where the players of Elementrix are going to be pretty happy, but the Pochinki Potato Hill control is going to be for the players of Abrupt Slayers right now. Maybe after some time, High Voltage or maybe Leo Esports can try and contest for that position. That is where Abrupt Slayers need to be a bit prepared. But DRS Gaming, well, they are looking superb in this particular one because they have the entire southern control of the farm area. And they can show some good rotations also, which they are already doing so. And DRS is one of those teams, plotter, that always shows a controlled aggression. They never show unnecessary aggression, but for that big weapon, MK14, it looks like the players of SITM are already heading towards it, and they're going to be rewarded by the level 3s as well. But DEADEYES need to be a bit careful as they're forced to take this very compound because their vehicles have taken a lot of damage because of the players of Abrupt Slayers. And Abrupt Slayers, well, they are looking superb at this position because through the windows they can definitely deplete the resources, the medkits of the players of DEADEYES guys at this point. But at the same time, like I said, they have to be very careful because from the backlines, Leo Esports or even the players of I8 can try and contest their position.
Indeed, they can. For now, I'm loving the position that ASL has put themselves in as well with a 2-man split on top of the small little mountain ridge. Is going to be getting a lot of information against the teams of DEADEYES. But let's see if that'll help him out or not. For now though, very well equipped, they definitely are. But out in the open, let's just hope no other team jumps in towards this area. Because that's where ASL could be in a little bit of a trouble of their own. But DRS on the other side of the map altogether are taking on shots against the players of Maptex as well. As we saw, DRS were making a rotation from Milta region towards the eastern side of the zone. They seem to have caught on against the players of Maptex, and now Maptex's players are also losing out on their health and the opportunity to get a decent game for this final one. As Kesey is down. From far away, KYT from DRS is waiting. He's got his scope out, he's ready. But will Maptex allow that sort of an opportunity? Kesey has just, you can see the sprays coming in from KYT, but it definitely has pushed the players of Maptex back into their small little area because they cannot get the revival on their teammate, it seems like. Kesey is going to go down. There is no way KYT is going to allow any of the players to jump in and take that kill away from him. But it seems like Maptex's players are resilient as Baron pushes on to take on those shots, and it seems like Rules from DRS has been able to scope out the player Baron, and now the players of Maptex Esports are down to a 2-man army. Leo OP as well as Volley are the only 2 players surviving as of now. DRS Gaming, a very good strategized positioning, has helped them out and of course ironing out the competition. Thus Maptex down to a 2-man squad are now going to have to fall back, and that's exactly what Leo OP is doing.
Well, certainly DRS Gaming, they have managed to take down 2 players from the set of Maptex Esports, and now Maptex, they are surviving with only 2 players, and Leo, I don't see too many healings onto him, just 1 first aid, so that means Maptex Esports, well, they are not doing good in terms of the resources they are having, and rotations and flanks coming from the set of DRS as well. Rules with the vehicle is trying to take down Rally from the moving vehicle, and Leo OP has been rushed by the players of DRS, and Delta takes down one more player from the side of Maptex Esports, and looks like Valley is the last man standing, but somewhere else on the map, Seal Esports have also been eliminated. Now we are down to 14 teams, 52 players, where Maptex Esports is only down to only one man. And even he's not looking so promising at this point. DRS Gaming, 3 defeat points. I always say DRS Gaming never shows unnecessary aggression, but this time looks like DRS is up to change that, because from the very start of the game they are picking fights, and this is not something which I tend to see a lot from the side of DRS. So maybe this time they are trying to accumulate elimination points as much as possible.
Indeed, that definitely is something that we've noticed, that DRS does not like to take those early contestations or early fights. This time around though, that has definitely changed. And of course for the better, because they've got all 4 players still surviving. They're trying to find the final player from Abitex, but he's already down in the shelter. He's not going to be moving an inch from there, I don't think. On the other side of the map altogether itself, towards the school region, we've got the high voltage against the players of TRZ. Now, TRZ had made a rotation from the northern side, but it seems like now it has been caught on strong from the players of high voltage, as Assassin, along with all the Molotovs and the utilities being thrown right here, has pushed the players of TRZ into a corner, as they are just 2-man army, Steel Shot and Mamba, against the 4-man lot of high voltage. On the other side, from the back angles, we saw IHC also making a rotation. So TRZ can very well be sandwiched if they're not careful right here. But look at that, high voltage taken on Nox. 2 of the players have already gone down. TRZ Mamba is the reason for that. A perfect nade from him has resulted in not 1 but 2 players, Jiggle as well as Assassin, going down. Now high voltage, Prabeen and Malik are the 2 players who are surviving. Prabeen was too far out and away, so Malik has jumped in to, of course, provide that sort of revival that is so going to be critical right here in this moment. But this gives an opening for TRZ as well. Look at this, Prabeen on the flank angle. He's trying his level best to be able to give a covering fire to his teammates. But his teammates right now, they are in a world of trouble. They need to get revived, first things first, of course. But now the best part is, for high voltage, they're a 3-man strong army against the 2-man lot of TRZ. The nades keep on bringing themselves in, but Malik does not have much remaining right now. He's only got 1 more nade. Praveen has quite a lot, but he's too far out. With that, it seems like now is the moment for them to push on ahead. And that is exactly what this team of high voltage are going to be doing. They've dropped down one of the players of TRZ, pushing on with a UMP in his hand. Malik, through the smoke, is going to be able to scope out and point out where exactly the final player is. And the final player, Steel Shot, he's hiding in between the shacks. There he is in the background. And now it seems like they have no idea he's on top. And there we have it. He's going to be able to get at least 1 knock or not. No, he will not be allowed. As we've got TRZ's Mamba, my apologies, not Steel Shot, Mamba will be going down. And just like that, the team get eliminated. TRZ get eliminated on the 14th position. We're now left with only 12 teams remaining. High voltage, with that outing, have been able to accumulate 4 defeat points. And the game is not yet done, of course. Because now, for high voltage, after having taken on that fight from the northern side, they need to find a better positioning in the zone. Right now, we can see towards the school on the northern side of the zone, they are looking very comfortable. From the south, we've got Stalwart Esports also making an entry into the zone. As of now, they have not yet done so. Right close to them in the proximity is going to be the players of Raw Officials as well. And it seems like they are taking on shots against each other right there. And on the other front of IHC, they have taken shots against the players of Leo Esports, where one of the players has been eliminated. Maptex, also an entire team that was left with just 1-man final player in shelter. They also have been eliminated from the lobby. We're left with just 11 teams. IHC against Leo Esports. Leo Esports, oh no, IHC. Demo rushes and mows down his opponent right there. The vehicle came out from nowhere, and just like that, Leo Esports themselves bid adieu to this entire fray, as they've been eliminated, and all 4 players from the side of IHC still do remain. 7 defeat points already confirmed. With 10 teams remaining, IHC are leading the charge right now. But can they finish it in style? Can they finish this game in action for themselves? And now from one Mongolian team to the other, we push on ahead. Where Stalwart's action has pushed on against a player of Yeta Uta right there. Raw Official. They have 3 players around in this area, but it seems like that number is going to be going down, where 2 of them have taken a knock. Illuminate Crew also taking shots against SITM have resulted in SITM getting eliminated. Quite a lot of chaotic final zone fights is what we are part of right now. As Stalwart Esports make an entry, they get 4 defeat points confirmed for themselves.
Well, definitely on all these teams are trying to have the control of the Pochinki Hill area. That is where the players of IHC and Leo Esports are also going up against each other. Stalwart from the southern eastern side is trying to find good position for themselves, but now it looks like they have spotted on Zodi from the side of Raw officials, and Zed with a vehicle is trying to get a perfect angle onto him. But now we have the players of I8 after eliminating the entirety of SATM going up against the players of DEADEYES, and DEADEYES definitely they do have the height advantage, but both these teams also need to be a bit cautious of the position of Abrupt Slayers, because look at Abrupt Slayers over uphill. They can do a perfect third party in this situation, and looks like Raw officials, well, they have also been eliminated. Now 7 teams remaining, 27 plus. DEADEYES, well, they're looking so very good in terms of the resources which they are having. 6 grenades, 4 grenades, and so many smokes available, and they can utilize them to the perfection in a fight against the players of I8. On the other side, I8, well, they need to be very cautious as their vehicles have taken a bit of damage and they are on the lower ground, not the best position to be in right now.
Indeed, definitely not the best position to be in. On the other side of the map altogether, we've got IHC's Godless jumping into the fray as he brings down the players of Elementrix. Orange goes down. Elementrix are down to a 2-man army as well. A difficult position that has been created right here from IHC against the entirety of the lobby, where IHC sits at 8 defeat points confirmed, but now Illuminate True, as they make an entry right here, we see Stalwart in action as well, as Action was making a rotation right around the corner against the positioning of Illuminate True. Best part for Illuminate True right here is that they've got all 4 players surviving and standing. There's still 2.5 minutes left in this stage, so at this point of time, Illuminate Crew, all they can do is wait. But from the northern side, look at that high voltage again. This game is looking very, very good for them, because the zone has opened up to them. And from the south, we can see Stalwart is making their presence felt as well. But right next to them in the vicinity is going to be IHC. And IHC, with the momentum that they're moving on ahead, it seems like both these Mongolian teams are going to be going head to head against each other. IHC against STE. On top of the mountain, again, this helps out Stalwart Esports as well, because this Pareto Mountain is going to be providing them the most important area that they can hold in this zone. With that, they seem to have found out the final 2 players of Elementrix, and just like that, Elementrix get eliminated as well, with sadly 0 elimination points, but 7th ranking is where they get eliminated. 7 defeat points confirmed for the side of Stalwart Esports, and now Stalwart are going to make an entry into the players of IHC. IHC were able to bring down the players of Stalwart. 1 player has been dropped down. It seems like Stalwart are going to be rushing back and not wanting this opportunity by themselves. And now with that perfect spray, Godless with the UMP in his hand has been able to bring down Tops. It seems like IHC are in a world where they do not see anybody as an opponent. They are ready to pincer down the positioning of Stalwart, as just like that, Stalwart's icy. Godless, how exactly is he spotting these players? Godless is back in all full swing as he brings down the players of Stalwart to just a 1-man army. This game is going to be either IHC from the south or High Voltage from the north.
Well, definitely anything can happen. It all comes down to where the next circle is going to take the shift. Stalwart Esports, well, they have to make the mature decision. There's no chance that they can go for the revival onto the fallen comrade, and Zed is hiding. He's hiding from the plus of IHC Esports because he doesn't have the numbers, and now he's trying to make a quick escape with that vehicle, and Demo is trying to take him down from the moving vehicle. Let's see if he can take him down and eliminate the entirety of Stalwart Esports, and looks like that's exactly going to happen as Zoil takes him down, and Stalwart Esports, after a very good run, have been eliminated at the 6th spot with good elimination points in their name. But this is entirely IHC's domination. 12 defeat points, and Alex finds Viper also from the side of I8, and the entire Pochinki Hill control, the entire real estate control is in the hands of the players of IHC Esports, and looks like the circle is also going to favor them. So IHC, this is their game to lose. Godless with 5 elimination, they are looking so very strong. Even in terms of the resources, they do have good amount of grenades and smokes in their favor. On the other side, we have the players of DEADEYES going up against the players of High Voltage, and looks like on top Star has been knocked down. On the other side, Praveen is also down to a very low HP.
Indeed, as Illuminate True have been spotted out from the players of Abrupt Slayers, as Bishol with a scar in his hand tries to, of course, get that spray to perfection. Sadly, was not able to connect the dots, and that in turn has provided Illuminate True with a little bit of an opening to be able to give the quintessential cover and, of course, revival right there to the teammate. Now, the 5 teams that are remaining are all looking very, very good in terms of the way they've positioned themselves. But the zone is not for the players of High Voltage, for the players of Deadeyes. As we can see in the minimap, they are towards the northern side of the zone. They need to, of course, eliminate. One team needs to eliminate other and then move into the zone. And that is exactly what they're focusing on. But for Deadeyes, the biggest trouble right now in this fight is the fact that they don't have the numbers. They can climb on top of that mountain. That could be the most advantageous thing that they could do right here in this fight. Apart from that, High Voltage have all 4 players surviving as they slowly regroup and try and reorganize themselves as to how exactly do they want to be able to take this fight. They're falling back. Deadeyes, the best part right now is the smoke wall that they've created, given quite a lot of cover, and it seems like they're actually slowly and steadily getting closer and closer to ASL's compound as well. So Deadeyes might be changing their fight from High Voltage as their target towards ASL's compound.
Could be a possibility, but at the same time they have to be careful of a third party that might be happening. But Bishal with a perfect grenade takes down Turul of from the side of Deadeyes. Now Deadeyes are left with only 2 players. Slayer is going for the crucial revival on the fallen comrade. At the same time, follow-up grenade comes from Bishal, takes down Slayer sir as well. At the same time, brings down the confirmation point as well. And now Deadeyes, well, they are left with only 1 man standing. At the same time, I8 is also in the close proximity. We have the players of High Voltage as well, but Vishal finally eliminates the entirety of Deadeyes. Perfect, precise grenades comes in, but now Abrupt Slayers. I8 is showing up on their doorstep, and looks like Gangster has been taken down, and looking for the confirmation. The grenades that are coming from the side of I8, and even High Voltage can also do a perfect third party in the situation, but Probeen has been taken down by Viper. Looks like I8, they are the dominating force in this particular fight.
Well, they most certainly are. The way they've rushed in to push on against not 1 but 2 teams from the compound. It's ASL from the opening. It is a different team altogether itself that they're trying to bring down, and that is going to be none other than a High Voltage. And on all of that, they are leading the charge. They are making their presence felt and spraying on down. Woofes jumps into the compound, takes down one, takes down another. Just like that, Abrupt Slayers have been eliminated. Incredible feat being showcased right here from Illuminate Crew. But is this going to be enough? Because up on top, IHC's players are waiting as well, with 14 eliminations confirmed for IHC. High Voltage is still part of this fight, but they are just down to a 2-man army. And look at Demo. He's rushing around. He's roaming about. He's trying to scope out and spot out the player and opponent. Whereas his teammate, Godless, knows exactly what's up on towards that compound. He's been hearing all of that commotion, and just like that, now Demo has been able to scope out the player of High Voltage, as now it is a 1v1 situation. Make that nil, because High Voltage Assassin gets eliminated as well, as we're left with just 2 teams remaining. IHC, there is nothing that can stop them in getting this chicken dinner for themselves.
Well, certainly they can try to do so. IHC 16 defeat points already in their favor. The entire circle is in their control, and they're not letting the players of IH inch closer and have a bit of the circle in their favor. And IH, look at the position of Woofes out there in the open, and Zoil with that vehicle, with that buggy, is already inching closer to the players of I8. And now IH, what they are going to do in this situation, because look at the angles which IHC is having. They have covered almost every single angle from which I8 possibly can rotate and try to move inside the circle, and slowly they are pincing down the players of I8. Sky has been taken down by perfect precise spray coming in from the side of Godless, and IHC gets a confirmation point as well. 17 defeat points already in the hands of IHC, and they're already going for more. And with the Bucky, Alex is looking for a vehicle run over, but no, Godless with that M416 is going to eliminate the entirety of IH crew, and IHC finally gets a winner chicken dinner for themselves after a dominating performance.
What a game right there from IHC. I mean, we know the caliber that they have, and this is what the caliber is, the kind of destruction and mayhem that they can bring into the lobby. That is exactly what they do every single time. But sadly, this time around, Illuminate Crew were the ones who were in their crosshairs. Illuminate Crew were playing it very, very well, but sadly were not able to get the chicken dinner. It was, of course, the momentum with which IHC swooped in across, eliminating so many teams, getting so many, of course, points in terms of the elimination, as we've got 19 total eliminations right there from this one single game. 3,407 damage total. Move on to the 4th position in the overall ranking. And with that, of course, the fifth and final game for day one of week 2 has come to an end, and it is going to be none other than IHC, who've actually taken the entire lobby by a storm and took that game, of course, for themselves in the bag with 19 eliminations along with the chicken dinner. 29 total points is what IHC were able to get, and finding themselves on the 4th in the overall ranking. Definitely a really good game, but that now needs to continue on forth. That is something that has been missing from IHC. The consistency is definitely something that we've not yet seen from them, but maybe week 2 is full of surprises. Most certainly, the way that the day started off today, it is full of surprises. So perhaps week 2 is going to be the one where IHC can just bring in that relentless approach to the game as well as consistent play.
Well, it's definitely consistency should come in from the players of IHC, because last week it was entirely missing. But the way this team has performed is also very impressive. But talking about the MVP, it is going to be Godless from the side of IHC with 8 elimination, 12-17 damage, 2 assists, 8 talks, 158 healings. Not a very high number in terms of healings. But I think IHC have created a new record in terms of the damage that they were dishing out. 3000 something damage, close to 3500 damage that they had dished out in this particular one is the highest so far.
Indeed, that is so very true. Of course, had they gotten 2 more eliminations, then the elimination number could have also jumped up, because highest till now that we've seen is 20. But apart from that, again, those are the Mongolian teams that dominate like this and love to dominate like this, and that is what this time around IHC have done. Godless, he's the dude who's actually, risen back from the ashes, is what I'm going to say, because week 1 there are so many clips that you can bring up and talk about where Godless was not performing like his name. But now look at that. Not only him, but Ziol, Demo, Alex, his teammates, all of them are here in the top players list with the amount of damage and, of course, destruction that they were a part of in the entirety of this game.
Well, certainly Demo also from the side of IHC Esports. In fact, the entire team of IHC Esports, this is their game. Highest elimination, highest damage, highest assist, even highest healings done are also from the side of IHC. They were unstoppable in this particular one. They were a dominating force, and they annihilated the entire lobby with getting high elimination and high damage number in their favor.
Absolutely. And that is what IHC have to say for the final game, at least for week 2, day number 1. I'm hoping this sort of momentum continues for them tomorrow as well, as 29 points is what they got, and the team sitting below them walked away with 14 points. So look at the difference right there. Twice the number of points that the team sitting on the second eliminate crew got is what IHC were able to accumulate in a single game. Moving away from there, we've got High Voltage as well, who played a decent game, decent outing for them as well, as they got 5 elimination points along with the placing points, 10 in total. DRS Gaming, kudos effort from them, DRS Gaming as well as TRZ. 7 defeat points confirmed for DRS, 4 confirmed for TRZ. But SKYLIGHTZ Esports, sadly, none the wiser, not able to do much this time around. Stalwart Gaming being the first one to get annihilated. Mabatex Esports were caught on a bad luck moment right there, which of course did not help them. So a tough lobby right now in week 2 for quite a lot of these teams.
Well, certainly, SKYLIGHTZ Gaming, not a good day for them. Also, Leo Esports this one was not entirely in their favor, because they are also having only a single point to their name. This is not something Leo Esports wants. So many inconsistencies are coming from the teams who won in top 10 or top 5 position in the previous week. So this week is looking entirely different as compared to the previous one. Even the players of DRS Gaming, yes, they were coming second in the previous week, but now by the end of today, even the players of DRS Gaming have started picking up a good fights, and we saw it as well. I think this time also in this match also they are already in top 8 position. So yes, DRS are also looking very promising in this week.
It most certainly are, and again, this is just week 1 that's taken care right now. There are still my apologies, day 1 of week 2 that's been done for, because right now there's still 4 more days remaining, and there's still quite a lot of commotion and change in the overall ranking that I would love to be able to see. Raw officials, they're trying to make a mark, they're trying to make their presence felt. 4MV were kind of missing from the action, but are still trying their level best. With that, let's move on ahead. Also look at the highlights from this game, and this is where the entire action and fiasco started for High Voltage.
Well, certainly High Voltage, Leo Esports. In fact, the entire circle was around the Pochinki Potato Hill. So many teams tried to contest that very hill. Stalwart Esports, even the players of IHC, Leo also, I8 also, they wanted to be the king of the hills. Even Abrupt Slayers, they were the first one to have the control of that particular area, but they were not able to defend it for so very long. So that that's the reason it became for their demise.
Indeed. I mean, again, the fight that Illuminate Crew took right there against ASL, the way they were able to push against the players of high voltage, quite a huge, commendable effort can be said towards the players of Illuminate Crew. But in the end, of course, it was IHC moving in with the momentum. They knew exactly what they were up against and they knew exactly where the players were, which, of course, they capitalized on perfectly, getting that chicken dinner. So let's move on ahead, talk about that storyboard, the overall ranking, where T2K is leading the charge with 5-point difference. Is going to be IHC sitting on the second spot right there with 41 points. And then moving down south from that region, we've got a team like Stalwart Esports without a chicken dinner sitting on the fifth spot with, of course, 7 placement points, but 27 eliminations. Loving the way the change that was showcased right here in terms of the points distribution has such a big impact on how these teams are playing. So many of them have to, of course, get those elimination points. That's the only way that you are going to be sitting in the top 10. But moving on down south from that is where things get a little tricky. We've got Bad Intentions, sadly, once again, sitting right here on the 20th position. TRZ above them, not deserving of that position. Same can be said for SKYLIGHTZ Gaming as well as ASL as well. But this is just day number one. As we continue on through the week, I'm sure this is all going to change as well.
Even look at the stats of Venom DE, just a single placement points and 19 eliminations they are having. If they're able to grab few good placement points as well, I think Venom DE can be in top 5 or top 6 position.
True.
Because yes, in terms of the aggression they bring in, the fights they bring in, they're able to win majority of those fights. It's just the survival. That's why I'm focusing on the balance between the placement points and the elimination points. Yes, the major focus is on the elimination points, but you need to have some placement points in your favor. That is where Venom D is lacking right now.
Absolutely. For day number one of week two, they most certainly have been slacking a little in that front. Also, not only them, right? Because there are so many other big names as well who are sitting right there and have not been able to do much. So tough battle right there. But it seems now we move on to the overall ranking itself. Now, of course, what we saw previous to this was week two rankings, but this is the overall, where of course 25 games have been played and 4 medical wives are sitting at the first position with 5 chicken dinners. 279 points is what they've got. Stalwart Esports with 2 chicken dinners sitting on the second position with 239 points. A big stark difference that they've created right here is going to be 4MV, and 4MV now in week 2. Well, at least on day 1 they were a little slow. Let's see if it continues for them on day 2 also or not.
Well, certainly Venom DA on the 11th with 120 points, but Bad Intention, they need so many points, and the way they were performing today is not enough if they want to propel themselves in top 12 spot. Raw officials 19 spot with 90 points only. Guys, this is very disappointing from their side, especially with the veteran players they're having. They're also sitting on the 18th spot with 90 points. So few teams are yet to make a comeback, and the numbers of games are limited, and the more delay they do in showcasing a comeback, the difficult it will be for them to be in the top 12. So as soon as possible, make a comeback, create a comeback story for yourself, so that you also get the chance to play that bonus match of weekend on day number 5.
Absolutely, and again, being a part of that bonus map automatically provides you with the opportunity of racking up those numbers in the overall ranking, and that is something that each and every team, I'm sure, is definitely trying their level best to work towards. Though it is not an easy lobby to compete in, and that is what we are looking at right now, based on how the competition has changed, and the storyline itself is every single week going to be changing based on that itself. But one thing that happened really good today is that IHC, Godless, they are back in action. They're back in swing, which could actually imply 4MV's performance could take a little bit of a dip. But then again, in all of that, the most important thing is consistency, and that consistency has been missing from IHC. Therefore, picking them as a prediction also at times hurts a little, because they get eliminated in such weird ways and weird fights that they are part of. But this time around, that was not the case. Week 2, they're starting very, very strong, and I would love to see if they can continue with this same agenda and performance as we continue on throughout the entirety of the week.
Well, certainly, even week number 1 was entirely about the Mongolian teams, where 4MV and Stalwart Esports were in the top, untouchable. But now on week number 2, Nepal teams are also doing a comeback. They are sitting at the top. But looking at the day's summary, the first match of Erangel went into the favor of DRS Gaming. Second one was in the favor of I8 crew, and then third, Seal Esports sealed the game for the Sanhok for themselves.
Indeed, and moving on, we saw, of course, Miramar taken on by Leo Esports' Liquid, all by his lonesome, you cheeky little devil. And then, of course, was the final game right here where IHC's Godless just jumped into the action, of course, with his teammates as well, because it wasn't just him. It was Yol along with IC. All of them combined their efforts together to make a perfect storyline right there for the side of IHC. And that, in turn, of course, was clearly showcased in the top players list, where all the 4 players from the side of IHC, of course, made a mark. And that, again, will be what the case has been for today, at least. For today's storyline, IHC definitely takes the cake and the highlight. But at the same point of time, that is not all that there is, because now we will be, of course, moving on to day number 2. Today's matches are done. That means we reach the end of the stream as well. But the journey will continue on tomorrow as well, as tomorrow we've got 5 more games that are going to be played out between these teams before we jump into the weekend and figure out what those top 12 teams are going to be that will play on day number 5, the 6th game on Vikendi. But one thing is said, Bad Intentions, Shadow, they're in week 2 also having a really tough time right here.
Well, they are having a tough time, but at least if they're putting up good individual fights also, that is impressive. I don't expect a very shiny performance from a team who's sitting in the bottom, not having the confidence right now, because you need one good game. As long as they are putting good individual fights, taking the strongest teams in the lobby, because they were able to they took down the plus of 4 MV. So that was impressive from the side of Bad Intention. As long as they keep doing so, I think they are good to go in the long run.
They need to be hungry for that. They need to be very devilishly hungry, and that is the only way that they're going to be able to accumulate those points. With that, like I was saying, we do reach the end of a stream for today. Thank you all so very much for, of course, tuning in. Do not forget to click that subscribe button so as to stay updated with all the action-packed things that are happening right here in the PUBG world. But with that, I've been your caster, analyst, Vloro, joined in with Shadow, saying bye-bye, sayonara. We'll see you tomorrow.